Hey guys, welcome back to Rewatch Movie. I'm Mike,
I'm Jay.
and we're here to believe you
That's right.
and
No
stuff.
fee is too big. No case is too big.
No,
We're ready
we're
to do it to it.
small. Hey, got a bunch of people to chat. What's up, guys? What's up, Halco and Jay and Richie? And I'm Chris
Hello.
Hollywood
Sure.
and James and Chris Hollywood and James and Jimmy and Tony Gallagher.
Oh,
Chat.
by the way, I just started watching. Last night I just started watching. I'm caught up, but I watched all of Moon Knight. Like there's six. There's only gonna be 6 episodes. The 5th one comes out Wednesday, but good. I like it. It takes about. I think it takes about an episode and a half to find its legs, but once it does, holy shit, fucks! It's some good.
I only watched the first episode, and I liked it a lot. I just haven't been compelled
When
to
you
finish.
I felt like it's because I was familiar with Moon Knight, like as far as the character from the comic books, kind of sort of, but I couldn't remember all of it. And when they start going into that Stephen Grant, because I was familiar with Mark Spector, I forgot that he's got dissociative disorder. I knew he kind of had something like that, but I forgot his other characters and his other little things about him. But when it gets going though, and it really starts exploring the broken psyche that is fucking Moon Knight, and then it's kind of got that whole Batman feel to him. I was like, it's basically Batman with schizophrenia. It's getting good. That last episode was hot doggy. Yeah, buddy. Good times.
I would watch it. We are not including the MCU shows in our rankings
No,
tonight. We're just sticking to movies. It gets too hard. I haven't seen half them shits.
Well, now you'd have to even go back and include the Daredevil because they included Matt Murdock's Charlie Cox in the new one. The two Charlie Cox.
That's true. That's bestest.
By the way, I went ahead and watched. This has nothing to do with the MCU or comic book movies or anything like that. But I had been a while since I rewatched it. Is Bill and Ted's Face the Music. Other than the nostalgia factor, which I did enjoy and I liked, the best part of that movie, because it was really a hot garbage on fire through most of it. It was still fun because we both grew up with Bill and Ted, but the best part of that movie was literally the reunion between Alex Winter, Keanu Reeves, and William Sadler when they were down in hell and they were having that conversation with death. That shit still made me laugh, dude. He was like, he's playing hopscotch by himself. He goes, and he's cheating, dude. And then when they have their the conversation with William Sadler's death, and he was like, dude, you were doing 40-minute bass solos. And he goes, that was the highlight of your show. And then he goes inside of his apartment, he slams the door, and then they go, oh, and they knock on the door. It's like, who is it? And he's like, Bill and Ted. Dude, it was so good.
I like that decently enough when we watched it, but I still have never felt compelled to go back and watch it again. You know,
I just wanted to watch. I watched Bogus Journey, and I wanted to watch it again. I just wish that they'd had more William Sadler in it because he was so stoked to be in the movie again.
Yeah, he felt the exact same too. I do remember that.
Yeah,
but what are you going to do? Yeah, I watched a bunch of shit too. I've been sick as fuck. Sick as fuck for since Thursday night.
Yeah.
I got sick while I was in the movie theater, and then everybody in my fucking house is sick, dude. We all got some sort of weird ass sinus infection or something. But
yeah, well, I hope you die.
I hope you die. We watched a bunch of sad shit with MJ. We were just sitting here Friday night. At least they at a friend's house. We were just. Have you ever seen the newest Stars Born with Bradley Cooper?
Dude, yeah, I fucking cried my eyes out.
Woo, buddy, God,
yeah. There's something about when you're sick or you're drinking or whatever, you just want to watch. You want to watch the saddest shit you can possibly think of. Yeah. Sometimes I'll watch commercials and it'll be Sarah McLachlan singing about homeless dogs, and I'll be like, "Fuck, dude!" And it's just because then you feel like I just want to feel something. I just want to feel.
Yeah, we watched that, and This Is Where I Leave You. Have you ever seen that? It's with Jason Bateman,
Robert Pattinson.
No, it's called This Is Where I Leave You. It's got Jason Bateman in it, and it's got Adam Driver in it, and it's got a couple other people in it.
That sounds familiar. I might have seen it.
It was really good. It was a really good movie, but it's sad as fuck too. So yeah, we just sat around and watched sad shit.
I cried at Charlie St. Cloud, but I mean, it was meant to break your heart, but I did cry at that, and I was like, why am I crying at this? I don't know what I was doing.
I'm an easy crier in movies. Fun with Dick and Jane made me cry the other day. That's
Dude,
just
I'll tell you a go-to if instant. It'll clear your sinuses up and make you feel like a real man when you cry in front of your woman. Go watch Homeward Bound. Just watch the end.
Oh, I know.
It gets you every fucking time. Every time. I
fucking know.
Because he was just too old. He was just too old. And he goes, "Oh, boy. Peter, I missed you and I love you." I was like, obviously you could take that out of context now, but when you were a kid, you're like, "Yeah, Peter, he loved Peter. I love Peter."
This parakeet's been raped.
That Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peckers.
Hey, shout out, by the way. I noticed this when we started talking. Where did it go? I will find him. Oh man, where did it go? I lost it. Fuck! I don't know what to do. Hey, Guy on an Adventure's on day 2 of quitting drinking. Shout out to Guy on an
All
Adventure.
right.
He's
Good job.
on an adventure. He's on an adventure of sobriety, and we appreciate it.
Then you went on a journey of self-discovery.
of.
Hey, I went
up the
I
good
went
work.
4 days, and that was a highlight of my life. 4 days. I was like, I forgot what that's like. I
Your
haven't
number
been
one
4 days
goal here is to
clean
beat
since
Jay.
1975.
And if you don't beat him, you got to beat him off. Those are the rules. I didn't make
That's
them.
it.
Those are the rules. First super chat of the night. Thanks, Courtney, my dude. By the way, Courtney, we signed your screen mask that you won the other day.
Oh.
We'll be mailing that to you shortly. I did write mashed potatoes on the front of it, and that's not a lie. I kind of regret it. I sort of feel bad about it, but I figured maybe you'll like that. But he says, I had to choose between the live stream or the Nets versus Celtics game. I said yes. Congrats, Jay and April.
Hey, thank you so much, Courtney. That's very nice of you. And
Yeah, I found out on Facebook. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for
right.
letting me know.
Hey, let's not let everyone know the dark, deep secrets of how that document came to be, but you didn't just find out, asshole. Okay.
I thought we were saving it, dude. I thought
and then I realized I was like, oh, fuck
it. Jay's officially off the market, boys. So no more dick sucking.
Sorry, guys. I mean, of course, when she's not looking, suck city, but when she is, got to be careful.
Now I have some personal news as well. I am now a minister, so I can marry anyone in this room who wants to be married, but you have to sleep with me first. Those are the rules. If you get married by me,
are you a minister or are you a Catholic priest? I don't know which one you are.
Well, no, you have to be above the age of 18.
That's true. And you, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but as long as you're above the age of 18, Mike doesn't differentiate between guy or girl, but you have to be above 18. It doesn't matter if it's a cock or a vagina. True. It's either way. It's sex.
Preferably both at the same time.
Mike joined an elite club with myself and a few other people, and we both got ordained through the Universal Life Church from fucking California. That's the most legit title ever.
In 13 seconds, you can become a minister.
I put that on.
You just have to come first.
I should say a long time. I put that on a resume.
Did you really?
Yeah. Because they like employment history, I didn't have enough to put on there really, and so I said employed by Universal Life Church out of California. They didn't ask me about it. Well, they didn't ask me about it. I was like, well, so it's okay. It's not a lie. I mean, I didn't actually do it. Like, I didn't do any business with the Universal Life Church, but technically, they gave me a job for God.
They said out there reading that.
They gave me a job for God. I work for God.
Motherfucker.
Now we can be the Blues Brothers. We're on a mission from God.
Jonas, thanks, buddy. He says, my name is Jonas. What was the Flintstones? As someone from Amsterdam had shroom tea with girlfriend watching Doctor Strange, that was the best cinema experience I've ever had. Recently tied with Dune, also under the same conditions.
Yeah, you were. If you tried that with Dune, you were out of this fucking world. Like this, you were like rocking out with Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd. If you were watching that on with Dune, but I could see that Doctor Strange would fucking make me sick though. I couldn't. I would have a freak out. I would have a major meltdown.
I'd be like, what is this toothpaste commercial I'm watching for Marvel?
Yeah, it does.
It's like you just squeeze a tube of toothpaste and watch it come out the other side. Hey, I only did mushrooms twice, and it was I don't want to watch anything doing that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun both times, but I just it was I definitely tripped.
Sometimes I like mushrooms, but generally speaking, I just go with pepperoni. Generally,
oh man,
generally speaking,
it's a trip. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's too crazy.
Kevin Williams, thanks, buddy. He says, hey, guys, not sure when your next unboxing is, but I do got a package going in the mail in a couple days heading to you. Thanks for all you guys do. Thanks, Kevin. It'll be a week or so. We just putting that one up. I'd appreciate that, my man.
I hope it's a cake journal for Mike.
I hope it's not
him only, so I don't have to touch it.
I just want photos of your dick. Should us photos of your dick. New York City sewer rat. Even the rats have phones.
I dated a few of those before I was married recently.
Love you
just
guys.
Like
Love
that in your avatar, which I like. There was a girl that I literally dated that looked kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's scary.
Thank you, homeless Ratatouille.
Yeah. It's been hard after the pandemic. He couldn't get a job.
Justin Martin, thanks, dude. He says, glad to see the gentleman talking Marvel. Can I get a Loomis review of Thor 2?
That's a quick one.
That should be a good one. Yeah.
It sucked. Next. I haven't been more bored watching a goddamn movie than when I listen to people defend the sexuality of Michael. I don't care. Fuck him. He wants to kill you. He's not sexy for you. Okay. It's not sexy time. It's kill time. Dumb. I haven't been this bored since I watched Amber Heard's face in trial.
Oh fuck. Dan Grenzone. Dan Greenzone. Dan Green's Grat. He says, "Long-time stalker, first time taking a stab at it. I'm having a stroke right now. Drinking a Mike's and Mike's Hard Lemonade, that is, for you non-alcoholics, and smoking a J for the occasion." Jim Carrey saying, "Loser," voice, "Hibiscus."
That's some good times. I got something. I have been recently, well, you know, I've just been, you know, most of the country has been, but I got pulled into the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial I've been watching. I actually just started watching some of the most recent highlights with it.
You
April,
say that you had it marked on your calendar. You're like, it starts at 1. I'm going to watch on.
No,
this
it starts
channel.
at 10 a.m. It starts at 10 a.m. But today they were late. But no, I wait until April goes on work so we can watch it together. But the thing was, it was funny, dude, because I sometimes the lawyer for Amber Heard is such a dunce, dude. Like, he literally objected to hearsay on his own goddamn, his own defense, like his own words. He objected to hearsay because I think somebody in court or somebody that was talking said what he said, and he was like, "Objection, hearsay." Like, it didn't even make sense. And then somebody put a gif up of Jim Carrey from Liar Liar when he was like, "Your Honor, I must object." And he's like, "Well, why is that, Mr. Reed?" He's like, "Because it's devastating to my case."
Oh, that's good.
I was like, that's exactly how it was, because it's devastating.
I watched a little bit of it. I did. I'm not going to lie to you. And the number one thing I came away with other than the fact that it sounds like they're like, yeah, well, he's like, I didn't beat up my girlfriend, and they're like, yeah, but you drank on a plane and you like to get fucked up. And he's like, yes, I like to get fucked up, but I didn't beat my girlfriend. And they're like, but you like to get fucked up, and that's basically the whole trial. That's all I've seen.
He was getting Johnny Depp was getting fucking definitely smart ass with the dude. That's always good to see. He's like, I can't even answer my question. He's like, you won't let me answer the question. He's like, moving on. We know. He's like, what? He's like, I didn't even talk.
I did like it when he was like, Mr. Depp, and we want to respect the court's time here, so if you could hurry up. He's like, but make me watch you look for 5 minutes for a doctor.
That was on Thursday. Like, literally, he wasn't lying. He's like, that guy was taking like forever. They didn't even have their goddamn defense planned, and he was accusing him of rambling and wasting the court's time. I was like, what the shit are you smoking?
So, yeah, it's a bad relationship. But I think the point is, it's like Missy says, sorry, they're both crazy. You know, Johnny Depp definitely needs to tone down the substance abuse and the alcohol abuse. No doubt about it. It's not doing well for him. But at the end of the day, even though they're both, I feel like, we're fucked up for each other, it's another thing when someone goes out and says that you beat the shit out of him when all signs point to you did not. You know,
well,
I mean, I think that's
the fact is, I think that this case does showcase one thing, which I don't think gets talked about nearly enough, is that men can be victims of domestic abuse as well. And the fact that the bitch is literally on tape telling people, I didn't strike you, Johnny. I hit you. I was like, what the fuck? That's like Vanilla Ice explaining the difference between his song and the other one he ripped off. No, mine goes ding, 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 ding. Theirs goes ding, 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 ding. I was like, so you're saying I didn't hit you? I struck you. You bitch, you slapped me in the fucking face with a fist. You didn't.
Yeah.
And then she also is on tape talking about how she hit his ears. Like, dude, she had and severed his goddamn finger with a jug of vodka. If that don't scream abuse, I don't know what's going to tell you. Ray Charles could see that was abuse.
Yeah.
Ray Charles could see it.
I don't think this is going to go well for her, but who knows? He lost the last one, so who knows?
Well, he lost it against the newspaper because of the slander. But the funny thing is I think the last thing I just saw before I had to turn it off because of the stream, but there's literally an audio recording when she's on the phone with him, and I guess Johnny Depp was trying to make it where they were going to go together and write something, a joint statement, and say that we're going to keep this private. We don't want it in the media. We don't want this public, and try to settle something amicably without any kind of, and he's literally on the phone telling her this. And then she's like, but my credibility, this is actually, by the way, after she signed the restraining order against him. This is just so you know, as a background. And then, he said, then she's like, fine, Johnny, fine. We'll go to jury, and you tell the jury that as a man, you're a victim of domestic violence too. And he's like, I am. So I was like, so it's almost like, and then she was, and then, you know, his lawyer was like, what was the last thing she said to you? And he was like, she said, go to the jury and tell them that you're a man and that you're a victim of domestic violence. And I said, I am. And then there's like no further questions. Because that's all the jury needed to hear. Was like, the fact is, she was pretty much goading you and saying, who's going to believe you, Johnny? Who's going to believe you, Johnny? Got her fucking voice. God damn. It sounds like a cat fucking in an alleyway when she screams. I got like sick.
Oh, that's a pretty good description, actually. I have
Yeah.
heard her voice.
Oh,
That
dude, if
does
you
sound
listen
quite
more
like
into it,
that.
when she starts fighting with him and she's screaming, I was like, that's
Yeah.
familiar. I remember that shrew ass voice from a previous time in my life that I choose to forget. But it's the
You're having
same,
flashbacks.
it's the same tone, dude. It's just
Yeah.
goes, just stay. Why don't you just stay? Don't you laugh? Oh my god. And he's like, I just want to fucking go. Just let me go. And she's like, and dude, it's so bad because you can tell he's just trying to leave, and she's like, I don't know why you're not working this out with me. He's like, oh my god. And she's like, every day I just want to kill myself because it's just stressing me to this point. And he was like, I'm sorry. He goes, you need to go take your medicine. I'm sorry I've stressed you to this point. And he's like, Steven, take her home. He's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with her because he's just all he was saying. He goes, I'll talk to you in a few hours. Let's calm down. I'm gonna take my space. You take your space, and we'll come back and hash it out. And she's like, why are you doing this to me? It's like, what? It was crazy. It's crazy beans.
Yeah, dude. The whole thing is it's surreal to watch it take place. Inky the alien. He's stinky. He's inky. He's an alien. Hey guys, not sure if you remember the face box I mentioned during the last ranking stream, but I'm going to be painting it this week. I'm planning on sending you guys some photos once it's done.
Nice.
Once it's done. Face box. That sounds fucking cool.
As long as some type of there's some nudity in it, and as long as you're above 18.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes, that reminds me of that Blink-182 concert album. He's like, boobies! He's like, wait a minute. Those are 13-year-old boobies. You need to put those boobies away. You're not old enough to be showing your boobies. But thank you, Inky.
Thank you.
Look forward to your face box. Vinny C! Thanks, buddy. He says, congrats, Jay and April. In the words of the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman in Twister, dude, you taking the vows? That's sweet.
Yeah. Thanks, Vinny. It's like, yeah, I went into the suck zone. Yeah, thank you, Vinny.
The prodigal son returns. It's a different guy, but still
windy, just windy. What was it like up there? He's like, it's windy.
All right, let's get this ranking started, bitches.
Oh wait, I want to tell you one thing before
I'm gay.
I watched this. Yeah, it's all sham, guys. It's like the Michael Jackson, Lisa Marie Presley thing. It's all fake. Was that her name, Lisa Marie Presley? Yeah. That he married? Yeah, it's all fake. I've been loving dick for a while. This is all just for, I just can't come out yet. But the thing is, I watched this Paul Dano interview with Jimmy Kimmel, and they were talking about his Riddler. And I didn't know this, dude. Apparently, he said that when he went in, he used saran wrap the first day of shooting because, they have to have the duct tape. But I guess they were just trying to figure out what they were going to use. And he said the saran didn't want to be associated with him, so he couldn't say saran, but he called it sticky. He said he fucking almost blacked out several times because he couldn't breathe. Like they wrapped his fucking face up so tightly in saran wrap. And then he's like, dangerous. And then he was, yeah, it wasn't. He was like, yeah, I didn't understand why my brain felt like white hot. And I was like weirded out and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to be like the first day have complaints about filming. So I went home and I looked up brain swelling and I was like, that's not good. And then later on, they wind up poking holes in it. So he was just giving that as a warning, just a warning to people that are going to cosplay him. Don't really wrap your face up in fucking duct tape.
No, it's not going to turn out good. It's not good. That could have turned out to be a very different movie. They continued doing that.
Yeah.
D-Bitch says, I gotta go. We got cows. Got
cows.
Mark Wren, thanks, buddy. He says, Eon want that, I that, wink, I that. What the fuck? I don't want that, I that, wink. I want the I that stinks.
You know what? It's perfect with what you just said based on your thumbnail picture, because that's exactly how that guy would talk. I have no fucking clue what you said, but I'm sure it was something a bit dirty.
I don't want that, I that,
I
wink.
want the eye that wink. I want the eye that stinks. I want to put it in the butthole. I think is what he's talking about. He wants to put it in the butthole.
Give me that stinky.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the butthole.
Yeah, I think so. The whispering stink.
The whispering eye.
Tiffany Hoffman, thank you so much. Says Howard the Duck is number one.
I like
That's
Howard
not in this, Tiffany. Doesn't
call
count.
him Howard the Duck. Yeah, Leah, I like that movie.
Isn't there a sex scene in that movie? There is a sex scene in that movie.
Well,
it's
implied.
Up, man.
It's very implied. Yes, it's heavy.
Fucked up.
But why? I mean, would you not? You're a duck. I mean, should that stop you from fucking? What's her name? Leah Thompson.
Yeah,
is that her name? I know there's another one that I don't want to have sex with, the Penn State thing. I don't want to have to say Leah Thompson. Leah Thomas? I don't know.
Is that the girl from Back to the Future?
Yeah, the hot one.
You slept with your mom, dude. Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen here with you fine folks and my wiener, if anyone wants. Most importantly. We have our rankings here, and now caveat here. Two things I want to say. There's 27 movies, no shows, nothing outside of the MCU. We will do another ranking at some point, and then congeal these rankings, and we'll do everything outside the MCU and do all the crazy, wild, fucking cuckoo shit that Marvel did before then.
I gotta also point out there's two on here I couldn't put in.
Well, no, that's what I was telling. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is I haven't seen the Eternals. It's the only movie I haven't seen. I went ahead and did watch Shang-Chi the other night.
Yeah.
And Jay hasn't seen Captain Marvel. What was the other one?
Black Widow. Okay.
But
it's hard for me to even put Black Widow in because it's a prequel.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do is what we're gonna do for those is when Jay places Eternals, I'm gonna put Eternals at the same place. And when I place Captain Marvel or Secret Window,
that's
Black
a good one.
Widow.
That's the unknown
the Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah.
Jay's just going to automatically put those in his place. That way we have the same amount and it doesn't get confusing.
Okay.
All right. What is your worst MCU movie? You fuck a duck.
Well, my first shitastic is going to be they call it Shang-Chi here in America, but when I watched it, I called it Shang-Chit. I thought it was just I thought it was malarkey. It was a slog to get through. It was a snooze fucking fest. I felt like it was forced comedy. I felt like most of it wasn't funny. I just, and to be honest with you, I thought there were some really good ideas that they just didn't execute well. And ultimately, dude, out of all the other MCU movies, it was literally, to me, it was the worst one I've seen thus far. It was really a fucking dirty ass turd that no one flushed. I just don't like Shang-Chi. Because, I mean, you would think it was I think martial arts movies are cool, and I think they could have done something really spectacular with some of the fight scenes and choreography, but I don't think they did that. I don't think they even, I just felt like the comedy was forced. I felt like it was boring. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about any of their development. It was cool to see Ben Kingsley again. I was like, hey, Ben, how you doing? But I don't want to be at your barbecue.
That your Rotten Tomatoes blurb was that it's a turd at the bottom of a toilet.
Yeah.
Shang-Chit.
My
last place one's going to be Thor 2.
That's top of mine.
I think a lot of people are going to have this down there. Look, I think it was Marvel's first big misstep, right? Like when you watch it and you go, it's going to be great because everything's been fucking great. And then you watch it and you go, when's it fucking start, dude? When's this fucking movie start? And then it never fucking starts.
Does Natalie Portman even want to fuck you still? What's going on, bro?
I remember getting out of watching that going, I think it was good, right? But I just fucking can't remember anything that happens. And then you watch it a second time, you go, no, that was just poop. That just sucked.
It's like doing your taxes. You just want to get through it. Like you don't remember if it went well or, and you're just like, I don't know. It was just a blur. There's a lot of numbers and calculation. It was funny about that movie too, by the way. Thor: Dark World is literally it's one of the most forgettable movies in the MCU. And the villain, I know it was Dark Elves, but I could give a shit less. And the only thing that was even remotely I remember about it was Loki dying, and he was in it. Like, and he wasn't a villain, but then he was a villain. Then he was a villain. I don't know. That I just remember Loki, and that was really what sold the movie for a lot of people. Was that what's his name was back in it from the guy that played Loki.
I remember the ice people and that shit.
That's all. I don't care.
The end was just really.
I don't care.
The end. They're just running around that cave thing, and then now he's like, no, and he's like, I'll save you though, and they're like, cool, I have a watch. I don't know, something happened, but I'll never need to watch.
My next one's gonna be, and see, these both are recent. I don't want to feel like they're just picking on them, but my next one's gonna be the Eternals. The thing about the Eternals is that like it had a great cast, and it was it was cool, a lot of special effects, but none of it, and I think someone else said it right. When I watched it, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening with my hands. It was like somebody saying if you were dropped in the middle of an Avengers Infinity War and you had never watched any other Avengers movies or any of the other MCU, you didn't know who these people were. There was a lot of shit crammed into it that they were trying to make sense, and it was hard for them to do. I mean, it was like someone who broke their own neck trying to suck their own dick, like in Clerks. Like you just broke your own neck trying to suck your own dick. It's like, I never tried it, you fucking pervert. Like it just, like I felt like there was way too much, and they were trying to do too much, and they were doing their damnedest to get it across. Like this is the Eternals, and this is the backstory, and there's all this cosmic shit. It's the same thing that they accused Green Lantern of being with Ryan Reynolds, that it was just too all over the place, and no one knew what was going on, and they didn't have enough establishment, and that's pretty much the same thing that happened to Eternals. But because of MCU, they were like, we'll give it a slide. Angelina was in it with her big pouty lips. So no.
Green Lantern, by the way, underrated as well.
I
So
liked
we're
Green
going
Lantern,
out
but
there.
I understand like why people, you know, have a hard. But I felt like, to be honest with you, I felt like Green Lantern was more understandable than this hunk of shit because it was just a lot of shit going on. I just didn't get all of it. I'm like, God
Yeah.
damn, you guys
I
are like
can't.
the Beatles, and then you guys hate each other, and then you guys break up, then you might get back together, and then there's might be a bad guy somewhere. I don't know.
I have not been able to bring myself to watch it because I saw
It's not good.
nothing in the trailers and the marketing. I'm like, I'm at the point now, I'm 36 goddamn years old, okay? I am not going to watch a movie about something I don't know the fuck about, that the trailer looks boring as fuck to, just because they slap Marvel on the box, you know?
Yeah.
I could take a dump in a box and market guaranteed if you want. I've got spare time. But I'm not going to do it. I can't bring myself to watch it because I find nothing in anything I've seen that makes me go, I want to see that, other than you're not watch it because you're not going to know what's going on.
You're not missing anything. You're not missing shit if you don't watch it. I mean,
I haven't seen it, so automatically it goes in my ranking where Jay's goes. So that's number 26. So it's back to you, homie Slice.
No, it's your. Okay. So well, yeah, I talked about it. So not much more to say. Thor: Dark World. What can you say? What a big pile of shit.
That is one big.
And like, you know, and I'm sure there's people that do enjoy it for whatever reason, but I mean, I don't like, dude. I don't remember shit. I remember the movie, but I don't remember because it was forgettable. It was a forgettable throwaway movie that Marvel put in.
Yeah. Foxhound, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. We appreciate it very much. Says, damn, I've missed you guys. Haven't been off to watch your live streams in a while. A friend and myself are starting a film channel, and I said you guys are my direct inspiration. Love you guys. Keep doing what you do. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Foxhound. That's sweet of you. I hope it's better than ours because ours is mediocre poop, but we hope yours does better.
Reach higher.
But no, I do want to point out, by the way, Thor 2. Another thing about Thor 2 is Thor 2 was also tonally, it was all over the place. It didn't like the Thor 1. I thought was fantastical beasts, and I think that they fucked up because they tried to go in a dark direction with it, and I felt like they already had something really unique and cool with Thor when the first one came out, and I was like, why didn't you guys keep doing that? Instead, you went this weird, like, I don't know, fucking dark crystal bullshit, and I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, it was not great, not by any means necessary.
By the way, I like Dark Crystal, by the way. I'm just using that.
I don't think I ever watched it. Fibonacci 309 says, congrats to you, Jay. You should live stream the wedding so we can all be there, and want to recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once. Very fun movie. I do want to see that.
Yeah. Well, we already got married, so you missed the wedding, dude. No, we'll probably have some kind of get together. I doubt we're gonna stream it though. So my depravity only knows so much.
Can I meet you in the middle, and can you just stream the sex afterwards?
Yeah, I'll do that. That'll be great. It'll only be 10 seconds. Yes. It'll just be you'll literally see a white ass flopping on her like a dead fish for 10 seconds, and then like smoking a cigarette and being like, I hate myself because I can't hold out longer.
I want to see you. I want to see you have sex with a woman. I've seen you have sex with a man. I've literally been the man you had sex with, but I want to see you have sex
like 10 seconds is my record holder right there.
Yeah. I would pay for that. I'd pay for that really high. I'd pay good prices for that. I'd pay Elton John prices for that.
That's good. He was there.
Can I have your firstborn child?
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much.
You can have it. I don't want it.
And that being said, number 25 is going to be for me. Oh, it will be Jay's number 25 as well because he has not seen it yet. Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I didn't. No desire. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Brie cheese. No thanks.
Yeah, Captain Marvel is you know what? It's the reason to me it's better than Thor 2 Dark World. And again, I haven't seen Eternals. The reason it's better than Thor 2 Dark World is one simple reason, and that is because they went back to the 90s and they had Blockbuster, and some of that shit was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Christopher Nelson did some pretty good effects on that film. Appreciated those. I'm not one of these I fucking hate Brie Larson guys. I get why people hate her because she said some shit that made her seem like kind of a butthole. But
I am one of those. I hate her. I hate her. No, I don't really. I don't hate her. I just strongly dislike her face.
She, to me, is very. She just comes off as pretty unlikable.
Snooty. She's very snooty.
Yeah, she's like if Julia Stiles from 10 Things I Hate About You was actually a person.
Yeah, well, it's like if maybe if you're a little overweight and you go to like the buffet or something at Golden Corral and some fucking like bitch that's all about working out and shit, and she's like, "Oh, you eating that?" Like, bitch, why don't you eat my ass? I'm gonna have what I like. Go back to your goddamn table and be smug face all you like.
I could see that. I don't like her car commercials There's something about her face. I just
She's
like
self-righteous, I think, is ultimately what her problem is.
yeah, I don't like her attitude. I just didn't think the movie was very interesting. And they fucking made Nick Fury's eye story a goddamn kitty cat scratching him. What the
I haven't
fuck
seen
was
it.
that about?
I did remember the trailers
Shit.
though, and the idea of the 90s thing was cool. But that was the only reason
Yeah.
why I even had a remote interest to watch it.
Well, it was better than Thor for me, you know. But other than that, I just forgot. I was like, oh, that's fine. Yeah.
That's like comparing sizes of poop in the yard. Like which one's worse, like a Yorkies
That's
or a fucking German Shepherd? So they're both bad, but they're both shit. One's larger than the other.
That's back when I was still watching every Marvel movie that came out. Now I'm like, okay, we're past that. Endgame happened.
I'm gonna watch.
I'm not watching every fucking
Multiverse of
one.
Madness though. That'll be the next big one. That's
yeah. I'm very excited about Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So wait, your 24 is going to be shit, I fucked up. Your 25 is Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
As mine is, and then your 24 is Thor.
Not Captain America.
World.
No, not Captain America.
Oh yeah, fuck, I got this all fucked up. So no, your number 20. Yeah,
it's Marvel because yours is Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dark World, and then so now I gotta go again, and my number 24 is gonna be yeah, it's gonna be
dying on a dick in prison.
That's the second time
you're like,
this week.
I didn't know it was that big.
Sitting on a cock 'cause I'm gay. Louis C.K. song. But no, it's Shang-Chi. You know, I didn't hate it nearly as bad as you did. Actually, I watched it last night and I could barely get through it because it wasn't very good.
I had a hard time.
But I did love the fucking action scenes though. Like the fight scene on the bus where the music's playing and like the hip hop's playing and he's beating the shit out of all these dudes in the bus. I was like, fuck, this is fun. I love this. And then when they go to the magical land of wonder in the forest and they're fighting and shit, I was like, fuck, this is awesome. And I'm like, it reminded me of like kind of Mortal Kombat back in the day where, you know, they would go to a place and there would be a big fight and then they would go on, there'd be a big fight. And then they were just like, hey, let's sell some fucking toys and bring out this little pig chick in and like, let's just talk for 40 fucking minutes. That movie should have been an hour and 12 minutes long, and it should have had twice as much action in it as it did, and then it would have been a pretty cool
cut out
movie.
Like 45 minutes of that boring ass shit they were trying to do and that forced ass humor that they were attempting. I would have, fine, okay. I mean, I would even pass on. I mean, I would have been like, all right, it's not the best choreographed fight scenes I've ever seen. Because I mean, let's be honest, it's entertaining. If marketed as a martial arts type of film, like in a way, I mean, it is. I mean, and it just comes off as like, who the fuck directed this shit? Like, did you let Michael Bay come in and direct a martial arts scene? Like, because it says, I mean, I feel like, why didn't you get like someone like Jackie Chan? I mean, you could get like multiple people that, or the guys that did, Hidden Pussy, Big Dick, whatever, Crouching Tiger, Big Dick,
Crouching Tiger,
Hidden Dragons, whatever, that one.
Yeah,
no, I don't know.
I enjoy the fight scenes on like a Mortal Kombat level. Like they felt like kind of magical, like in that level. You know, no one, but it's the Marvel thing too. Like no one's getting hurt. Someone gets knocked off a building, and I go, "Oh no, she's gonna die." Yeah, right. Someone's gonna catch her. Someone fucking catches her. That's a lot of problem with a lot of Marvel movies. It's way too Disney-fied for it to ever feel like it had any stakes.
You know what I think it was? I think it's just because it had a lack of charm. There was something about the characters that just didn't have the charm factor to work. I just didn't care. I don't care. I didn't care about any of them.
I like the main guy and I like the dad. The friend who was meant to be the comedic relief was just annoying as fuck.
Awful.
Like that was just like, and that honestly, it is the bare bones, and that's a problem I have with a lot of movies, Marvel movies anymore, and lower on this list especially. They are just written in a fucking lab. Everything special about you came out of a bottle. That's what these movies feel like. It felt like it was laundered in a laundry machine. Like we forced a computer to watch 100 audience family movies and made it write a movie. And that's what it is. It's like a joke here. Okay. Action scene here. No blood. Let's make sure. Like it all felt so processed and goddamn written for the big screen. It was just like, I've just seen this movie a billion times, guys. There's nothing new here, you know, but the action scenes were cool. Yeah. So that's 24 Shang-Chi for me. Hey, Foxtown again. Thanks, dude. Really appreciate that. Says, thanks, mates. Could never be as good as y'all. The friendship and banter you guys have between each other is what makes your channel legendary. Never ceases to be entertaining. Also, the worst Marvel movie will be PG-13 Blade. You could be right about that.
You might be right. And I appreciate your words, but you may be very right about that. I think that what Wesley Snipes did in 1998 with Blade 1 knocked it the fuck out of the park, killed it, was amazing. And they did it right back then They let it be rated R, and they let it be what it was. It was meant to be like a horror-centric, action-packed movie that didn't hold back on the violence, the blood, and the cussing. I guess they just let it be what it be, and you'll never see that again. And unfortunately, that's what happens when a big giant megalomaniac like Disney acquires shit and says, "Slap a PG-13 on that wiener." Like, it doesn't matter. Ghost Rider, he's from hell. No, he's not. He's from the valley. It's not. He's not. Ghost Rider's not from hell. He's from the valley, and it was so hot there. He thought it was hell, but he doesn't say hell. He says HE double hockey sticks.
That's from Arizona. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I mean, and we also had the very good fortune to talk to Alan McElroy. And actually, if you want to put all the credit on movies on a great comic book, well, it wasn't the greatest adaptation, but just the fact that it existed was Spawn, 1994, and then the animated series on HBO that they did in the 90s. That's really where I wish I still wish that's how Marvel made their movies. I mean, you imagine, how you. I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but Punisher being PG-13 and the subject material and what it's about, and Ghost Rider, and I don't know. And technically speaking, I even think Doctor Strange should be rated R if they really want to play with that. Like, Doctor Strange is dealing with all sorts of fucking demons and like dimensional corridors opening up and monsters from the other side. I mean, I think that could be a dark, twisted type of movie, and I hope Multiverse of Madness does that. But I agree.
Yeah. Hey, it's like Mark Wahlberg said, I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. You got to let Blade fly, man. Yeah. Real Razor, thank you very much, my friend. Says, I've been watching you all for 4 years. Just want to say you both are awesome and make my day so much better. Love you guys. Love you too, man. I love that. I love your name and your picture. Mm-hmm. That's what I love.
That's why I like to imagine I look like when I get out of the shower, but I know I don't. I just want to, and I don't have those kind of chains. I just put like
you are that wet.
Yeah. I'm not that greasy with the hair, and I don't have that much hair. But yeah, I just use fake ass beads, not chains.
Hey, thank you, Liam. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
All right. So
hold up. We got mail, motherfucker. They call me Stamps. Thanks, buddy. He says, I heard somewhere that Mike Flanagan is interested in making a Clayface movie. If this is true, I think he can make a really good body horror movie with Clayface.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true. Yes. I can see that. Yeah, Clayface is definitely one of those more twisted villains of Batman. I think that he could do something really good with Clayface. And Clayface, in a way, has got a pretty, I guess, empathetic background. And so you can play with that. It's just like, I think that he deserves an on-screen treatment and play with the audience emotions just the same as I think that Mr. Freeze deserves an actual honest rendition of his character on screen.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about DC too much on this, because I know that people are going to be like, see, they can't even go and do an MCU ranking without talking about DC because they suck Zack Snyder's dick. I was like, yes, it tastes like cherries. Tastes like cherries. Tell me you wouldn't.
Oh, shit, fuck. All right, what's your number 23?
Okay, well, yeah,
Jim Carrey.
It's weird when you're giving me the number because mine's listed, but it's and now this might piss off some people, but I again, you just got to go with your hearts and farts and your souls on this. It's going to be Captain America: The First Avenger.
I knew that'd be high on your list. Low on your list.
It was well, yeah, it's low. Well, yeah, technically it's high, but Captain America: The First Avenger is one of those movies that I remember it coming when it was announced. I was like, man, there was a lot of fan artwork going up. There was one I remember that was really cool. It was it showed Captain America, and he had the shield. It was all black and white. The picture was that he was standing on the beaches of Normandy, and he had a gun out, and it was black. Dude, it looked so cool. And the only light or the only color in that picture was the shield on his back, and he was standing there with his head down. And I'm like, that's how you make a Captain America movie, because it's introducing to the world that in the time of mankind's darkest moment, which is World War II and the Nazis and all of that, and the atrocities that were being committed, you had this symbol of hope in Captain America, the one that was restoring faith in humanity, that was fighting against the monstrous persona of Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler and Red Skull. And I feel like what they ultimately wound up doing is they backed off more of the details that could have made that movie really stand apart, and more, they backed off of certain things, that some of the darker elements that could have really made it stand out and made Steve Rogers be the hopeful symbol that he, ultimately comes as Captain America, in order to not step on toes or something, or just to make it where kids could go see it. And again, I mean, of course, it's a comic book movie and kids should go see it, but I feel like it was important to detail the fact that Captain America came from a terrible time in history. And the reason why he is so remembered and beloved by everyone in the world, not just the United States, but everyone in the world, is because he stood for something other than horrific terrors that were going on in the world. He was this symbol of brightness in a dark time. And I feel like if they had gone with that direction, it'd been cool, and it would have been way on my. It might have been in the top 5, but they chose to go more of the lackluster, Bueller kind of tone, and that's ultimately why I just like fuck it. No. And I'm not against nothing against the acting, by the way, because Chris Evans was great, and I love the guy they cast as Red Skull. But I feel like one of the biggest travesties of so far of the MCU is they never ever again used that villain in Red Skull and the actor that played him. And I can't remember his name. I know he's awesome. Hugo Weaving, amazing actor. You wasted the character of Red Skull. He didn't even fucking pop up again until Infinity War, and it was played by a different guy. Just
for a second, yeah. And this comes from a guy who fucking loves Captain America.
It used to be my favorite superhero.
My number.
Now it's Captain Marvel.
Oh no, you're a liar. My number 23 is going to be Black Widow. I didn't, now we're already getting to movies that like I didn't hate,
So that'd be my number 22 because I haven't seen it.
What the fuck happened to my goddamn screen here? Oh shit! You still there?
Yeah.
I didn't just fuck up, did I? Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's gonna be Black Widow. So that Jay hasn't seen it, so that's gonna make it his as well. So I'll actually put your Captain America number 20. But yeah, I just I know
a few of those in my life. Black Widows.
It was fine. Like the beginning of it was good. The beginning of it was really good because in the beginning it was different. It felt like this weird crime, like not crime, but like it almost felt like a true
psychological thriller.
No, like espionage type of shit, but like kind of darker.
Spy adventure.
Yeah, kind of darker. And you had Hop in there. I can't remember the guy's actual name, but Hopper was in there and like was doing a good job. And that the familial stuff going on was kind of fucked up. And I like that when they're like escaping and shit like that. The opening was cool. I dug the first quarter of that movie, and the opening of it was really cool. But ultimately, when it went on, I was like, okay. Typical Marvel movie. Here we go. The same shit. And again, poor timing. Y'all should have given Black Widow her own movie way
earlier than Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
Yeah, way back when you give Thor his own movie. Like she was going to be a staple. You should have given her a movie before she was fucking dead in the franchise already. That took the edge off.
Why couldn't Captain Marvel throw herself off the fucking cliff for the Soul Stone?
It was like, I've seen you.
I like Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and I feel like she was underused as fuck, just like Hawkeye.
Yeah, it was fine. But it's just nothing special, kind of forgettable, But so I guess I got to go 22 now. To catch up. And my number 22, my friend, is going to be the first time I pissed people off tonight. And I just want you to let you know I did. No,
that's the only time you piss people off, really.
It's in game. Yeah, no. Just to let you guys know, I doubled back. All right, I haven't seen this since the theater, and yesterday I watched.
So you're a flip flopper, eh?
I was.
You're not going to win this debate.
I was sick, and I sat around. And I said, "I'm watching this movie again to make sure that I'm wrong about it." And I felt like I was just pretty much as right as I was before. It's Doctor Strange for me at number 20.
Yeah, you've always had. I knew it was going to be high on your list because you've always had like a weird hatred. I think you're fucking Mordor. Or Mordred, whatever the fuck his name is, the one that he does, Baron von Mordo.
Hey, fuck you, Tomo. I didn't flip flop at all on this one. Actually, I just said I watched it to make sure I wouldn't flip.
Yeah, I know you never liked it, but it's you're sticking to your guns. That's fine.
Yeah, no, and the reason is like I watched it with no expectations, so obviously I liked it a little bit better than the first time I watched it. But Doctor Strange's story is so cool, man. It's so dark what he went through when he gets in that wreck and his hands are all fucked up, and I really always loved his story. That being said, I'm not a Harry Potter dude. I don't like the second half of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I'm not a magic guy. Yeah. This whole
I can disinvite you from the Magic the Gathering tournament.
Yeah, definitely. You can count me out for that one. I'll be in the back getting drunk on 40s. But like I said this the other day on Twitter, like this whole fucking thing they do, they look like porn stars, like revealing a butt to like the camera, like look at that shit.
That's the only best kind of porn stars.
You know what I mean? Like I just look what I can do. It just never got me. I can't sim solid bim fucking all that shit.
No, it's
never interested me. No, it's not. And so Mads Mikkelsen, really good bad guy. I wish he was used for something else. I thought their costumes looked stupid as hell. Every time they would march through one of those fucking portals, looking like goddamn they're from the land of Obi-Wan Kenobi or Tatooine or some shit. This shit, like, they look dumb.
You talking about the villains, the Mads
Yeah,
Mikkelsens? Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, I was like, bitch, you've been crying in the alleyway after your pimp slapped you. Why your mascara running?
Yeah,
Because his shit was.
exactly,
I was
exactly.
like, you guys could have come
It's
out
like,
with a way better wardrobe for the villains.
yeah, they look like fucking strippers, like fucking with that face
Yeah.
mask. And then like and I thought the special effects were pretty cool. Not that
Mm.
cool to me though. Like felt like Inception just did this. Like we're just flipping buildings around. Ooh, a kaleidoscope. I seen that when I was fucking 4. Give me something new here, But
Yeah.
Color Patch was good, and it was way too Disney-fied. Like, oh my god, this guy's dead. He's on a table, fucking dead. His soul is out of his body, and they're like, "Watch this cape smack someone in the face."
Yeah.
It's
He got
darker
that.
than that.
He got that Sanctum Sectorium shits.
I just didn't love it.
Mm.
That's all I have to
Well,
say
this
about
might
that
piss
one.
off some people because my next one's going to be, so I'm at 21 now. So my next one's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh yeah, no.
And you know what? I like Kurt Russell a lot, and I was really happy that he was going to be involved and that he was playing the Living Planet. I thought that was a cool plot. But I ultimately obviously he was going to be Chris Pratt's long lost dad, and they were going to play around with that plot idea, and it was going to be cool. But ultimately, what I felt like happened is they lost the thread in the movie. At some point, they ran out of yarn to spin. And so I just found myself floating in fucking space like Thor in fucking Endgame. And then I hit something that was a spaceship. I felt like, and again, it was great acting. It was just, it was the story was I just didn't follow it, and I didn't care at the end of it. Like, and then honest to God, it was another forgettable movie from Marvel. Like, I watched it and I was like, and the expectations were high going in after Guardians 1, because Guardians 1 really did something different that really hadn't been done in the MCU at that point. So you had a lot of expectations going into Volume 2, and then it was like they were like, yeah, but I got high and I forgot to write the script. It's like, yeah, I forgot what we did in the first one, bro. And then they just well, you mentioned like Disney fight. I think like they churned out a generic Disney product at that point, and I just didn't care. And that's it. And I know that some people do like Volume 2, but I mean, I felt like it didn't go anywhere. It just didn't do anything, and it was forgettable as fuck.
Yeah, that one was disappointing for me as well. Mark Wren says, "Saw Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson, true horror."
That is pretty rough, man. There's a lot of stuff in that. Yeah, I like that movie, but I do. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
Dude, I remember I saw that with Cody and his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah,
and I won't say anything. I won't be mean, but I know her as a person. The girl he was with at that time, like I know her. She's sitting there crying and shit, like watching Passion of the Christ. She's crying, and I was like, "Don't, you ain't fucking fooling nobody.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't fooling no fucking body. I saw what you were doing 20 minutes ago in the parking lot. Stop fucking crying like you love Jesus." All right.
Well, I cried during that movie. I don't know if I cried during that movie. I know that I like that movie a lot, and I feel like it was a good movie. I actually did like the story, and I feel like Mel Gibson did a good job portraying the actual, like people, you read about it in a Bible, or you read about it in books describing what a crucifixion is, but the brutality of it and the actual like visual of that is very disturbing and fucked up what they did. And it was actually a recounting of the actual thing that he went through. It's pretty disturbing to see, but I remember watching it though, and I was like, I've seen hookers beat up like that before.
I was more upset about Mel Gibson.
I was like, in Kentucky, that's every other block. Somebody's doing that to their woman in the trailer park.
Colton Kaler, thanks, buddy. He says, "What Marvel hero is most underrated in y'all's opinion?" Ooh, that's a good question.
Underrated?
Like MCU or underrated?
I think he just means any Marvel, like a Marvel character, like any Marvel character. I think underrated, like that. Well, I know that we both would agree that's not used nearly enough, or not ever been given a fair shake in the cinema world, is Punisher, because you had Bernthal do a phenomenal job, but it was on Netflix. Before that, I think we both think that Thomas Jane nailed it. We thought Thomas Jane was an incredible Punisher. Warzone had maybe more of the tone to it, but it was a shitty ass fucking movie. And Ray Stevenson could even hide the fact that he had an accent still. And then the Jigsaw was terrible, but at least tonally, Warzone hit it. But I mean, as far as like underrated, I don't know if they've. I don't know. I don't know if they've ever had it. Like, I mean, if you think about it, I don't know if they've ever.
There's a better answer than what I'm going to give.
Oh, I know. I do know. There's one I just now got it, and I was like, man, if they ever did a movie like an actual good movie with it, it would be incredible. Because they only used him once, Silver Surfer. I think that Silver Surfer
That's a good one.
could be really, really awesome and well done if they do it right, because they had a great the Lawrence Fishburne voiced Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, but he's just never been utilized on screen, and he would be an awesome character to see on the big screen, a full movie with him.
That would be a good one. Before I read Hero there, I wanted to say Onslaught, because like, how the fuck have we not done something with Onslaught yet?
I think it's coming. I think they have to wait for the X-Men to get in the MCU.
Yeah, or Galactus, Xavier, like, more than what they did. But I'll go. I guess I'll go. There's a better answer than this. There's absolutely a better answer than this. But it would be Punisher, like you said, or be I say Cyclops. Cyclops has always been dicked in movies. He's never had that. That could be that. When you look at the cover of like the '90s X-Men, and Cyclops is just the leader of them, and he's fucking ripped and he's jacked and he's just ejaculating from his fucking face. That's my Cyclops. I don't know what they were doing with the movies. James Marsden was great. They just never fucking used them. I really don't like him
in the face in the third one.
Yeah, and I really don't like the young Cyclops they got. That actor's great, but I never saw Cyclops in that kid at all.
It's weird. I thought you were gonna say like Gambit, or you were gonna say
I thought about Gambit. Yeah, that's
Ghost
another
Rider
good one too.
even.
Yeah, I did think about. I considered Gambit for sure. Hey, 5 years or probably more than 5 now since Deadpool came out, but pre-Deadpool the movie, it definitely would have been Deadpool. Would have been my answer.
I never understood why he hadn't already made his big screen debut.
Yeah, no fucking doubt about it, my friends. Ashley Smith, thank you. Says, happy to be here hanging out with you guys. You make me entire night. I love you guys, and I'm immensely proud of how far you've grown. Keep killing. Thank you, Ashley.
Hey, thank you, Ashley. That's very nice of you.
I grow often, if you know what I'm saying.
In the morning?
I apologize. Yeah, sometimes in the morning.
Wow. Sometimes,
hey, when I take care of my body the day before I go to sleep, sometimes I still wake up with a boner.
Sometimes I grow in confidence when my hair looks right.
Yeah,
just for a bit.
Get you there. It'll get you there. Hair's an important piece of your day, man. It really is.
It is. I'm losing mine. That's why I'm appreciating it.
Aren't we both, my friend? Ethan, thank you very much for that sweet super chat, my friend. He says, hey, guys, I have a couple things. I got to see the first Hellraiser a couple days ago. It was amazing.
Welcome to the club.
Do you guys think you'll rank the non-MCU movies at some point, too? The answer to that is yes.
Sure. I feel like Ray Donovan's like, sure. Sure.
That's how my 6-year-old used to talk when she was growing up. She was like, sure.
Yeah, if you Ray Donovan always say sure. He's like, hey Ray, do you want to talk about this divorce that we're going through? He's like, sure.
Yeah, that's how she used to say it too. But yes, the first Hellraiser is amazing. It's definitely the best Hellraiser. I hope that you showered afterwards. It is the prototypical. You need to wash your crack after you watch the movie because you just feel dirty. What we figured is we'll do the MCU ranking, and then another time we'll do all the non-MCU movies, and we'll probably do the same thing with DC because Marvel's got some really interesting non-MCU movies. You know what I mean? That's a whole list in itself.
Yeah,
so definitely.
But it'd be really hard to do it. But and again, the
creme
de la creme is DC animated. I just watched The Dark Knight Returns again recently. Holy shit, awesome. It still holds up. Peter Weller was fucking awesome as the voice of Batman. When there's that one scene, he was like, this isn't a mud pit, son. This is an operating room, and I'm the surgeon. I'm like, fuck yeah, Batman, you do it. You rip that ass. I do, but definitely. And by the way, Hellraiser is really amazing, but for watch Inferno. After you watch Hellraiser 1, watch Hellraiser 2 because you got to have those completed chapters, but then watch Inferno. Yeah, good times right there.
Fucking rules, dude. Okay, so all right, we'll get to 20 and then we'll take our first PP break.
Okay.
It's my turn, I guess. Number 21 for me to go. Time for me to show you my dingy.
Go ahead, show me your balls.
You want to see flop it out? You want me to flop it out of zipper or take pants down? What do you want me to do with cock? You want me to pour vodka on it first so you suck it? Yes?
No, don't want that. Pour vodka on it first, make it spicy, and then dip it in alcohol. And then clean it.
Not the tip. No, I cannot put tip in alcohol. You see it burn? It burns the tip.
70% hand sanitizer only.
I rub it on back and then you suck it from front.
I see. Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, my number 21 is gonna be Ant-Man and the Wasp. And
okay, time out. I'm not gonna. This is dude, it's fucking crazy.
What?
We might as well just throw that. My number 20 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So it was dead on. It was the same. And by the way, we didn't make this list together.
We made it separately.
It's the same. Yeah.
Hey, the problem is that let me tell you something. I'm stuck in it now. I don't remember the movie. I don't remember.
I remember there was an ant and then there was a wasp and then things happened. And then there was a ghost.
Quantumania, I say
Yeah.
Fajuli. I don't know. I have no fucking idea, dude. Like, I barely remember this movie at all. And I remember it was likable. And I remember I enjoyed it. And then I completely fucking forgot it.
Yeah.
So, like, it just fell into this wasteland. Hey, I like Paul Rudd. He's fun. And, like, I really like the reason that Ant-Man's good, like, you forget about it and then you watch it, is the side character's good. Michael Pena.
Yeah.
David
Yeah,
Malcolm. That guy's great.
this is the work of gypsies.
Yeah. the side characters are great, and Paul Rudd's fucking awesome in anything he does. So that's and the relationship mainly with him and his daughter is what I really liked.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I have a hard time remembering those fucking movies. I'm sorry, I just
It's
do.
the same with me. Evangeli Lilly, I think that's her name, that played Wasp. She was good, and I'm glad that Wasp had a little bit more screen time, and they kind of introduced her proper to the MCU, because I mean, she is a very important part that becomes part of the Avengers later on, even though it should have been Janet Van Dyne. I don't know why they went with. I'm glad they, it's cool. I mean, I'm glad they got Paul Rudd, but Paul Rudd also could have been Hank Pym. I don't really know why they. I mean, it was like an excuse to get Michael Douglas in it. Michael Douglas is awesome. You're going to make an excuse to get Michael Douglas in it. I get it, but I feel like you just went the extra mile. But anyway. I'm glad they had that, but the villain in that, the ghost thing that could warp in and out, like she could move in and out.
That was what it was. Yeah,
she got like moving out, like she had like always, like she'd put her finger in an electrical socket and she was constantly like zapping in and out. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is some goddamn Smokey and the Bandit bullshit. I don't care. But yeah, this is the same thing. I remember liking it and enjoying it at the time. There were some funny parts in it, and at least having a good time being entertained on screen, and then leaving and forgetting everything that had happened. That's like when I go to Mike's to film. I'm enjoying myself, and it was a good time. But then when I leave, I was like, I forgot what we did.
That's true.
There was probably something important there. We could even had a conversation, and I don't remember if it was important or not.
No, it happens all the time, and a lot of times we make plans and then we go, I don't want to do that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's always like that. It is like the next day, Michael will be like, it's embarrassing too, because I know that sometimes we get like lovey-dovey, like stupid drunk, and we're like trying to talk about feelings and emotions, and then Michael will be like, "You gay?" I'm like, "No, dude, you." He's like, "No, but I'm not talking about this. We need to talk." But then after that's over, it will be like, "You didn't really want to do any of that stuff that you were talking about last night." I was like, no, bitch. Like, how dare you remind me of those travesties from last night?
Yeah,
I always get embarrassed. Like my ears get red. I'm like, dude, yeah. He's like, I'm glad no one else was listening.
And Katie doesn't understand that's how we work either, by the way. She'll be like, you remember last night when you and Jay said this? And I'll be like, Kate, none of us are doing any of that shit.
It's like, erroneous facts.
I'm like, don't remind me of what I tried to forget.
I hate that. Yeah. And then Michael will be like, you don't really want to do that though. And when I have to hear, if he even texts a little bit of what we had said, because it was reminded to him, like Katie was the stenographer at court, and she's reminding back like what he said and what I promised. And then she's like, well, do you still want to do that? I'm like, no, dude, I really don't. I was like, I was just like, I was just drunk, having a good time, bro. That's how it always is. And they're like, how do you guys get anything done? I was like, with proper care and attention to detail, it takes us some time to get there, but we will get there, I promise.
Yeah, and the thing you have to remember about us is it's not ironclad. We don't mean it unless we swear on someone close to us as life. So if you're really drunk around both of us and we're making grand plans,
don't trust
the only way that you can trust the other person to know that you actually meant that you mean this, like we're actually going to do this in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to rob a bank or like whatever plan we have is if you say, no, dude, you swear on so-and-so's life. And then
we have to. Yeah.
You really mean this now. So
like there's been many a fight that's been avoided with me and Mike, and be like, dude, I swear on such and such, like if we have like a there's something you won't cross. Like, there's a pet cemetery line that you won't cross into that darkness. And they're like, all right, I believe you. I believe you. That's it. That's the only way. But most people don't know those insider knowledge. That's the only me and Mike know that. But no one else really knows that.
Well, it's like the other day I was trying to get Jay to go to a concert, but I actually meant it. And I knew that he said yes, but he wouldn't actually go. So I made April buy the fucking tickets on her phone and show it to me.
I was pissed.
I know you woke up the next day like, God damn it.
Dude, I swear to God, I did. I woke up like, did I dream that? And then I woke up like, fuck.
Yes.
Because I was waking up and I was like, I must have dreamed it. And I was like, when is that concert? And she told me, I was like, oh, fuck me.
I knew it. That's why I made her buy the fucking, not make her, but that's why I was like, hey, why don't you buy the tickets?
He doesn't make her, but he's like, hey, this drug is really good. And I know you smoked it earlier. You should try more. Don't worry. Go ahead and smoke that in your pipe.
That's just fucking I knew you would fucking do that too.
Peer pressure.
Yes, got you locked in. We're going to have a great time though. I just want you to know that. Don't worry. We're gonna have fun.
I'm gonna
You're
go
gonna be
sit.
glad
You know, you go at my Magic the Gathering. You're gonna sit back and drink 40s. I'm gonna go in the back and drink 40s myself, and watch all the youngins run up there and like 40s. Celebrate lit.
Yeah, hey, we're seeing lit. Everyone's gonna be drinking 40s, wearing leather pants.
I'm gonna get lit.
Marco V. Villatoro, thank you, buddy. He says, Mike and Jay, do you guys think the Marvel would do something with Omega Red or Nova? And would you be interested if so? Yes, and fucking yes. They almost touched Nova when they did the first Guardians movie. I thought we were going to Nova territory.
Yeah.
But Omega Red, it's always needed to fucking happen.
Well, I think you have to have Omega Red when the MCU introduced the X-Men. Omega Red, yeah. Omega Red's a great villain.
Well, it's not you said Momega.
No, Omega.
Omega
Red also sounds like a supplement from GNC. I'm taking that Omega Red. My shit get fucking pumped. But Omega Red, you got to have the X-Men in the MCU first. But Omega Red's pretty cool. I didn't dig him as much as some other people, but I get why he's cool. And Nova, yeah, Richard Rider. I thought that they would. Nova seems like Nova will definitely be Disney-fied, no doubt, because it's a kid that gets the power of the Nova Corps, and then he has to struggle with that. But it could be an interesting story nonetheless, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. Nova joined the New Warriors, so that could also potentially lead to the New Warriors spinoff. So yeah, I'd be happy with that.
I like it in the butt. Here's my
you want to do 20? I gotta pee, but I'm gonna wait for your 20. I'm gonna wait for you. I'll wait for your 20. This is not that long.
Well, fine. My number 20 is going to be Captain America.
Okay, I'm going to leave. Because I already said that. No, I just wanted to know what it was. I didn't want to come back.
Go pee. Go pee, because I got to pee really bad, man. Where do you do that? But whatever. No, it's Captain America First Avenger. I don't hate it as bad as Jay does. Clearly, it's ranked differently in our list. But, I thought the stuff in the beginning was kind of corny. The whole, like, you're my friend, Bach. And he's like, I'll take care of you one day, Steven. And like those guys fight him in the alley. And then like, he was too skinny. Like I get that Captain America was bullied and he was tiny and shit. He looked like fucking E.T. He looked like he was one of those monsters from Charlie Sheen's Arrival that ran on backwards fucking legs. Like it was too skinny. It was too weird. And then like, that's not actually a problem that I have with the movie. It's just kind of dumb, but I don't know. It was just sort of corny. Like America. Yeah. You and me and a bag of Cheetos will go to the convenience store and help old ladies with their groceries. I know that's what Captain America is, but it felt like they just sucked on that too hard. They stuck that teeth too hard. And then I was like, I want to see Captain America. I've never seen him on screen before, except for in that weird movie way back when. I want to see Steve Evans fucking rip ass. I want to see him whoop some fucking ass. That one scene where he gets the juice and he chased that dude through the storefront window. I was like, that's dope. That's what I wanted to see. And you think you're going to get that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's his love story with Falcon Peggy. And then all of a sudden we got to do the whole, oh, I'm in a war to be a dancer, but I want to be a real warrior fucking shit. I want to see Captain America beat some fucking ass. Now I know that's a child's reaction to a movie. And I understand that, but that's the way I felt watching that the first time. I was like, when do we see Jamie Lee's breasts? You know what I mean? Except for when do we see Captain America beat some fucking ass? I want to see some one-on-ones with him and Red Skull. I wanted to see some crazy shit happen. I want to see some war scenes. Wonder Woman would have been a great fucking Captain America movie if that had been the introduction to it. Imagine Captain America in that scene where she comes up from the bunker, and that was badass scene for Wonder Woman, but something like that for him would have fit way better than this video game-ish thing that we got. I've seen a billion war movies where they're all like, ha ha. I want to see Captain America beat some fucking ass. And we barely ever got that shit. So it was a little disappointing for me, but not the worst piece of shit I ever saw. I really liked Red Skull for all the, shit. I'd say it's decent. Steve Rogers. What did I say? Steve Ryan, Roger Kirby. Kirby Puckett was a good baseball player, my friend. I'll tell you that. He really fucking was. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about at this point. Danger Zone says perfect Loomis recast. Ben Kingsley, tell me not. It works, but it almost. I could see it. It's just a little boring for me. It's almost too on the nose. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see fucking something weird like Mel Gibson. Shave his fucking head, throw Mel Gibson in there. I'd like to see that. I think Mel Gibson could be a good Loomis recast. Ben Kingsley, it's like one of those things. Oh, it works. I could see it, but it also something about it just bores me. I don't know. I don't understand why. Even Ben Kingsley's a hell of a fucking actor. What's up, Mike White Jr.? I showed him my butt cheeks the other day. That's a true story. He saw them. He did. That face saw my asshole. And he says that's America's ass, and that's because he's talking about seeing my asshole through a telephone on OnlyFans. I do have an OnlyFans, in case you're wondering. So that's how you can see my asshole. Some of you all are wondering right now if that's true, and I'm going to let you keep wondering. You have to find it. You'll have to search it out. You will. D Mitch says, "Wow, Mike, you want to see Captain America eat ass and go one-on-one with the Red Skull? You get pretty deep, bro." Yeah. Honestly, can we get a fucking scene where Captain America eats some ass? Like, is that too much to ask? That's what would happen if fucking Disney didn't take over everything. You know what I'm saying? We get weird shit like that. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And then I was like, I'll fuck a dude. And they were like, hey, if you want to fuck this guy, he's ready to fuck. And I was like, let's go, dude. Bend over. And that's how me and Jay met.
Yeah, and that guy was never the same.
All right, I'll be right back. Give you a number 19, and then I run away.
Okay. All right. So my number 19 on the listo is going to be, and again, this might piss off some people, possibly. And that's what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely doing this to make everyone mad. No, it's not really, but Avengers Age of Ultron.
For $20, he'll pee on you.
I will do an R. Kelly.
What was it?
I'll do an R. Kelly for you. Avengers Age of Ultron. My number 19.
Yes.
Great party. Not yeah. Okay. So the reason why is it did introduce some cool characters, and it introduced Quicksilver for 2 minutes, and then he was summarily killed. They just didn't want Quicksilver in the movie, I guess. It introduced Scarlett Johansson, Elizabeth Olsen. She did amazing. She did great with that role. I thought that she was very compelling. She was awesome. There were some funny parts in Age of Ultron. I just felt that Ultron was misused and not appropriately conveyed to the audience, or the on-screen adaptation of Ultron did not fit from, I think not just my opinion, but a lot of comic book fans' opinion of what Ultron should have been. The fact that he was very much he talked very like an evil Tony Stark, and they were trying to go with that. I just didn't like that. Based on the comic books that I grew up reading, Ultron was the way that he approached the situation as far as like humanity and what to do about this problem that is humanity is a very cold, calculating, distant way. And it was scary because it was in a very, again, calculating way. It was like listening to a robot tell you why humanity is going to be exterminated. And I just felt like, the cold and emotionless tone of the character that was presented in the comic books was a lot more disturbing and horrific than what they actually showed on screen with Age of Ultron. And again, James Spader is a great actor. I just felt like James Spader didn't fit Ultron at all. And I just felt like the characterization of Ultron was all off. And again, I know they skirted around the origin part of Ultron a little bit because, Ultron was, he also created, or in and about, there was, Wonder Man was never introduced, Simon Williams. And I felt like that was an important piece that was missing. I don't know why they didn't do that, but I guess that felt like, who the fuck is going to go watch Wonder Man? That sounds terrible. That sounds like some asshole's name on Twitter. My name's Wonder Man. Yeah, it's a dumb name, but maybe that's why they chose not to go that route with Simon Williams. But anyhow, Avengers was so good. Joss Whedon's Avengers, and that's the only time I'm ever going to use good with Joss Whedon. But Joss Whedon's Avengers was really, really well done. And it was going to be hard, really, for anybody to follow that movie up with the same success that the first Avengers had. But I feel like they could have at least maintained some type of semblance of the first movie. And this one just felt like it was all over the place. It just didn't feel like it matched what they were doing in the first one. And then they were just doing the cheap stuff to keep the audience engaged. Like, it was cool. I mean, it was a cool scene, like at the very beginning of the movie, when you get that one side shot of all the Avengers jumping, slow-mo in the winter wonderlands. It was cool to see that, but I was like, yeah. And then they even kind of they try to copy the same thing from the first movie, when you have the camera panning around and they're all standing there fighting the Ultron robots, and it's, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch as the newest additions, and they're all fucking standing there. I mean, it was like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Okay. Asked and answer, Your Honor. Asked and answer. Objection. So yeah, I just felt like it was a mediocre movie. I never felt that it was a stellar movie. I never felt that it was so incredibly good that there's, Marvel just continues to knock out the hits, but yeah, just not my thing. And again, I just want to point out, like, I know that some people will say that, hey, I liked Age of Ultron, and that's totally okay. You're allowed to have that opinion, sir or miss. But I just personally thought it kind of sucked donkey balls a little bit. Bobby says Johnny 5 is alive. Do not disassemble Stephanie. Catler 145 says Hulk versus Hulkbuster was cool. That was a cool scene. I mean, then again, there are some cool moments in Age of Ultron. I just felt like I could not get behind James Spader voicing Ultron and the way they characterized Ultron. I just felt like it was too human. It just felt like a robot with daddy issues. I don't know. It was petulant. It just didn't remind me of a very sophisticated, cold, calculating automaton that was bent on destruction of humanity, because he felt that, I always thought Ultron was like fucking Skynet. Okay, give me Skynet in a goddamn robot form. That's what Ultron should have been. JT Custom says Ultron from Marvel's What If was so much better. Yeah, and again, it's not. I just feel like and Ultron is one of the Avengers' biggest villains that they ever faced, and I didn't feel threatened by him. I just felt like he was a baby bitch at the end of the version. Blue Rat, have you watched Better Call Saul? I think someone else asked that. No, I have not watched it yet. I have not watched Better Call Saul. I know that it's highly rated and a lot of people love it. I have not watched it. I should get on that. I'm lacking very much.
Caught you lacking with it. Okay. Did we miss any super chats? Did you get?
I didn't. No, I didn't see. No, I didn't see them. I know I was talking, so I forgot.
Oh. Anthony said, "Curious, will you guys be counting the Raimi Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man movies too, since No Way Home brought them into the MCU, or are you leaving those movies for a different ranking?" We're just keeping the MCU ones, man. So No Way Home and those ones will be the MCU ones will be in here, but the other ones we're going to leave out for when we just do the outside of the MCU rankings.
Yeah, because
we thought about it.
Yeah, and again, I double checked just to make sure. Like, if you go on Google and you type in MCU movies or how many there are, they actually list 27, so they don't even count because those are Sony products.
Yeah, but no, it's a good question. I considered it for sure, but well, that'll be a nice big fat ranking for another day. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. No doubt a fucking about it. Jay, what's your no? You already gave number 19.
Yeah,
my number 19. You fool.
Give it to me. Give it to me right in the mouth. I mean, give it to me right in the old catcher's mitt.
I'm gonna do it. This will upset some people because some people rank this incredibly high, but it's gonna be the Incredible Hulk.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing, child?
Yeah. Edward Norton's great. First half of the movie, liked it a lot. The whole like him with his. Basically, anybody who has anxiety and a Fitbit was basically Edward Norton in that movie. It was just like, oh, fuck, here comes my heart rate or whatever. I liked all that shit. I just thought it was pretty slow. I didn't love the CGI on Hulk. The in-fight scene, it felt like it took way too long to get there. Mm-hmm. And by the time they got to him in Abomination, it just felt like a Transformers type scene. But it was like, I did love Edward Norton. I think Edward Norton's the best Bruce Banner we've had on screen. 100%. And it was a good movie. It was a good movie. And I love that the Blu-ray was green. But
Tyler was really good too.
Yeah, it's never a movie I always go back and I'm like, I want to watch it and I want to like it more than I do. And I'm just like, it's pretty good, but it has a lot of stale moments there. And I've never liked Tim Roth that much.
He's hit or miss. Yeah. Well, and not to mention the fact that I loved it so much. Maybe that was because I was still suffering from PTSD with that. Sometimes I lose control and I like it. That Eric Bana bullshit. So maybe that's what I always love that movie. But yeah, I get it. Like some people just don't even. I mean, it's at least in your top 20 because some people won't even put it there.
Yeah, and again, like we're getting into movies that are pretty good here. Marvel's got.
It was hard to make this part of the list because they were all actually pretty decent.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Tomo said Incredible Hulk wasn't MCU, is it? Yeah, it is.
Hulk,
it is. Yeah, Ross Hulk, English Hulk wasn't, but this one is. So, But
Ang
it's
Lee
weird.
made an angry Hulk, but it wasn't good.
It's kind of like a black stepchild, or excuse me, black sheep of the,
Black
family.
sheep
I
of
don't
the
know where black
family. Yeah.
stepchild came from. Sorry.
Well, I mean, who
Is
wants a
that
black stepchild? I'm looking for a
Jesus
white one.
Christ. Fuck, I'm so sorry.
You racist fuck. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know. It's Mike's gonna get fucking blasted on Twitter tomorrow morning. Good thing that Elon Musk bought
That
it.
is not what I meant to say at fucking
No, I know
all.
what you meant. I know.
Black sheep. Fuck,
Black
Jesus
sheep, yes.
Christ. I apologize.
But it could be
for
a
that
black
mouth
stepchild.
slip.
It just
God
stands
damn
out.
it.
If it's a white family that adopted a black stepchild, they
But
might
that would be
love
amazing.
him.
That
They would
just
love
feel-
him, but it's going to be a standout.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I get what you're saying. But yeah, the Incredible Hulk is definitely one of the. It is the redheaded stepchild
I'm so
of the
embarrassed.
MCU. Yeah, I get
I'm
what you're
sorry.
saying.
Yeah.
But also, your black stepchild analogy could work
God,
too.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, if fucking the Lily White family from down the street adopted Emmanuel Lewis, it's going
How
to
to get
stand out.
canceled on a Monday.
Yeah. All right, that's my all right. So my number 18 is and again now I already talked about Age of Ultron might make sense. I think this one because I think it's just a beloved. I'm gonna put Iron Man 2. And the reason why I watched that recently, not long ago, and I think it's really well. I like that they explored briefly Tony Stark's alcoholism. So I felt like it was definitely going in the right direction. I feel like that was something that's very much a part of the character of Iron Man. So they were doing that well. But then it just kind of derails, and it was so quick, and it only happened for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, he got drunk and he fucking shot up some shit with his armor and whatever. It didn't go into the actual depths of the alcoholism that consumes Tony Stark. Like literally there's a moment in the comic books, and it was a dark moment, by the way, for the Iron Man comic books and Marvel in general when they wrote that. Like he gets so drunk and he's so disillusioned with everything. He puts on the Iron Man suit while drunk and tries to fight crime, and he falls on the streets and he's all fucked up. It's very much like Hancock, but I didn't slap Chris Rock at the Oscars kind of thing. But it was a very sad experience to see that this superhero taken to the new lows. So, but that was cool to see. And I did. My beer wants me to have more. But did you hear that bottle?
See more.
But and I did enjoy the relationship that they explore more with Rhodes. I think they did a good job, and I think Don Cheadle did. I like Terrence Howard better, but I like Don Cheadle too. Don Cheadle did good, and they explored that relationship, that friendship better. I think what the most egregious thing that stood out in my mind and I was just like, this is fucking stupid. Like I was just like, no, because is Mickey Rourke and that whole backstory, the villain, what they were trying to build and what ultimately wound up on screen. I just thought it was fucking dumb. And I feel bad for Mickey Rourke too, because Mickey Rourke actually he really thought he was going to be one of those arch nemesis of Iron Man. He just came off as like a fucking drunk Russian that was like put on some whiplash shit. And he was like, I got some Catwoman electric whips, bitch. And I'm like, you're going against Iron Man. This motherfucker can literally level mountains with like little mini nukes, and you got whiplash things. You got little whips. And and that character, by the way, I don't remember his name in the comics, but in the comics, I know that he was a lot more intimidating. Whiplash. He had a lot better of a backstory than what was presented on screen. So Iron Man 2 used to be a lot more higher ranking for me, but watching it again recently, and actually in lieu of all the other MCU movies that have come out, I think it falls fairly at 18. It's still in the top 20, but it falls fairly at 18.
Yeah. That's a tricky one for some people. Some people really fucking hate that movie, man. I mean,
I never used to hate it, but now after watching it again, I was just I just thought like Tony Stark was fighting against a fucking chump that found some whips that he put in a socket and got electrified. I don't know.
My number 18 is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. No, I'm just kidding. Guardians of the Galaxy. I already canceled myself, but I might as well cancel myself again.
Yeah, go ahead and cancel the channel, bitch. You canceled us both.
Number 18 is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Hey, I wanted to love it. Like, you'll see how I feel eventually tonight about Guardians of the Galaxy, but this one just came out. And it had some of the magic, but not a lot of it. And you think Kurt Russell coming in there as ego, like they're going to do this crazy shit, and it just little over long, never really just never fucking pulled you back in the way you wanted it to. Still good though.
Grab his dick and twist it. It never happened. The old dick twist. You know, dick twist. And I wanted the dick twist. Okay, so my number 17, and again, we're in the top 20, so these movies this is where it was getting pretty difficult to rank them because they're all pretty good in their own right. And again, it's saying something. It's in the top 20. There's only been 27 of them, but still, it's in the top 20. My number 17 is going to be Far From Home, Spider-Man, Far From Home, with Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal, and I think the reason why I'm putting it in what some eyes would consider low on my list is just because I feel like they were Far From Home felt very cartoonish, and I think they had they dealt with some heavy stuff in the beginning because they were dealing with the fall of Endgame, and they were dealing with that, and I think they did a good job of doing that. But then once it gets to London, and then and the black suit was badass. The black suit was great. I loved it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was different. I thought I'd never seen something like that before, and I liked it. But to me, Tom Holland, and he's a good Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. I still feel like it was catering more to high school kids, even in Far From. I felt Far From Home sometimes when I watched the movie because I was like, I grew up with the Maguire and the Andrew Garfields and that kind of maturity. I feel like Spider-Man could have grown up a little bit. I mean, he does grow up some after Endgame, but he didn't grow up enough, or at least in my opinion, more so than he should have grown up after the events of Endgame. He still felt like the kind of goofy, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I wanted a Batman, in Spider-Man, but I feel like he would have matured to a level where he'd been a little smarter. Point. And Jake Gyllenhaal, I feel like Mysterio, I feel like the storyline about him being, and I was like, just make him the character that he was in the comic books. Like, he doesn't need to be an interdimensional. Like, I get the story of the interdimensional traveler and stuff, but just make him a fucking bad guy. I don't know. This whole backstory, and they were trying to do this thing where Mysterio was seducing Spider-Man, into believing that he was his friend. I hate when that happens. Because he's like, I'm your friend. Touch my dick. It's okay. It's not gay. But I felt like that was overdone, and I feel like it was overcooked. And then ultimately at the end of the movie, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I think that you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, I think you're insane for saying that. Like, I'm just,
I think you're an evil bastard for saying that.
Well, I just think that that's just a really stupid pick for number 17. But whatever. My number 17 is gonna be Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Look at that bullshit, right?
The reason. Okay. I got stupid.
Oh, Captain Jack Sparrow thrown in some bullshit.
Captain Jack. I think, dude, everything you said. Like, if you're gonna bring Jake Gyllenhaal into the fucking MCU, give him more meat to chew on than that. Like,
and he's a great actor.
Like, I thought, like, what the end of it when he was maskless and he was like, it was Spider-Man who killed me. You finally let Jake Gyllenhaal fucking act. You know what I mean? Otherwise, he was basically felt like he was doing a Disney special.
I felt like he was just in a hot dog. He's like, what can I do?
There wasn't enough to chew on for Jake Gyllenhaal. He has so much range. He could have done a better job. And I get that he was nice and then he was bad, but it was still kind of in there. They could have done better with a Jake Gyllenhaal character in the MCU. The movie was fine. I feel this way about a lot of fucking not Jake Gyllenhaal, Tom Holland Spider-Man. Nothing wrong with him, but like you said, maybe it's just not our generation of Spider-Man. I think he's fine. I think he does a good job, but I never feel like that juice that I felt
old fat watching the other movies. We just don't get him.
I think that was it. It's very, like you said, it's very high schooly, very like CW-ish a little bit. So, but still good. The special effects are great. The story is put together well. It's a well-oiled machine, like every Marvel film is. But it never really got me going the way that my favorite films do. But it's a solid fucking movie, though.
Yeah, it's clean, dog. It's clean.
Yeah, very clean. DMX, come and get it.
My number 16. So it took me a little while to actually appreciate this movie. And again, I just watched these movies not long ago. It's going to be Iron Man 3. I used to have Iron Man 3 a lot lower on my list. Initially, when I first watched it, I just didn't give a shit about it. I didn't care. I was like, fuck this. I don't care. I'm going to go get drunk because I think
I learned you how great it was.
You didn't learn me. I learned myself because I went through alcoholism and I'm still going through it. What I like about it is that it does deal with PTSD in a very interesting way and in a more serious tone that you'd ever seen before in a Marvel movie. And I feel like they do a good job of showing after the events of Avengers how Tony Stark in his everyday life and in his marriage with Pepper Potts, how that's affecting him mentally, physically, how he's scared all the time. And anybody that lives, Mike and I both have anxiety, and we both have other issues as far as like social anxieties and things like that. When you live with that kind of stuff, yeah, it's sometimes it's a struggle, and then there's certain things that can trigger panic attacks, and there's certain things that can trigger those kind of moments, and definitely you can develop it because of a traumatic event, and that could be anything. And I feel like after the events of Avengers, you see, and they do such a good job of showing the character development of Tony Stark as Iron Man, because he comes off as this cocky guy, and he's like, I know what I'm doing. I've got all the fucking answers in the world. My cock is the biggest there is. And then as time progresses and events happen in his life, you see it becomes a lot more guarded. He becomes a lot more guarded, and he becomes a lot more concerned with I want to build armor around the world. They even kind of play with that with Ultron. And then it kind of leads into Iron Man 3. And I thought they did a fantastic job. And I was like, it was a surprising movie. I think it's one of those movies that when you get older, you appreciate more because it actually deals with like the fallout of real world shit.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. I got a lot to say about that movie, as you know. But so my number 16, it's going to be another Spider-Man film. It's going to be Spider-Man. I get their names confused so fucking much. Homecoming. Yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be my number 16. I can pretty much say the exact same things about Far From Home as I said about Homecoming. Not our generation. It doesn't feel like a lot of high school stuff like that. It was fine. I could barely remember anything that happens in it, except Michael Keaton was good in it, right? Like that was cool.
Yeah, the Vulture. He goes, I will kill you and everyone you love.
Yeah, Happy was great.
Cool.
The reason this one landed higher than Far From Home, which I also liked, but the reason this one lands at number 16 for me above that is because of the heartfelt stuff between Tony and him.
Yeah.
Because Tony is now gone. Spoiler alert. And he left him those glasses and how that whole thing works. I really enjoyed that.
Like my dad.
So.
I mean,
thanks for the glasses, Dick.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
I liked
same thing.
Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
So my number 15, we've talked about it a little bit. It's lower on Mike's list, is The Incredible Hulk. Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk. I like this movie a lot. I felt like it. I felt like it was again, you'd only had Ang Lee's Hulk first with Eric Bana. Before that the audience had been able to ingest, and after that, what I feel like they got to that actually works for the character is they explored more of the Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk, the TV show with Lou Ferrigno. The fact that he's always alone, that he self-isolates, that he can never have a normal relationship, that he can't be around people, and it kind of takes up. I feel like it takes up after the Bill Bixby show in a way, because Bill Bixby always was on the road, right? In the Incredible Hulk TV show, he never could be with it. I feel like they capture that isolation with Edward Norton and the Hulk, and that's the whole. He is a tragic figure. Is the fact that he didn't ask for this to happen. He saved Rick Jones from being blasted by gamma radiation and unleashed this big monstrous thing. And I think that Stan Lee said it best in Mallrats. And I feel like they captured it exactly right in The Incredible Hulk with the tone and the way they presented it, and especially with Edward Norton, is he said, he's a normal guy 1 minute, and then the next he's a raging monster. He goes, that was me. Those are the emotions that you have. Like in one moment you're normal, and then in the next moment you're just this monstrous thing that nobody can stop, and you're out of control.
So and it's again, about me when I drink whiskey.
Yeah, or me when I try to get laid. I'm just out of control. If I don't do it tonight, I'll never do it in my life.
I need this. Give it to me.
I feel like, and it was, Edward Norton, I feel like is very sympathetic, and look, he put a lot of heart and soul in that movie. He co-wrote it. I mean, he loved the character. He wanted to be a part of the character. And I, to be honest with you, and I know there's a lot of fucking nipple milking for Mark Ruffalo, I think Edward Norton is the superior actor. He is the better Edward. He is the better Bruce Banner. And he would have been a much better alongside the other in the ensemble.
It is his own fault, though. He got greedy.
Well, that's what they said. But he also said it was because they didn't there were certain things. There's a lot of things. There's a speculation going on between who fired who and what happened. But either way, I think The Incredible Hulk is an actual underrated gem of a movie. I really do enjoy it. And I love the fact that when he shows back up after Puerto Rico, I think he was in Puerto Rico, and he shows back up on the campus looking for answers. And that moment between him and Betty, I think they handled the relationships way better in this in Incredible Hulk and the tragedy. I feel like they showcased the tragedy of Hulk better than they did in the first one or since.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's a good pick, man. If we could just real quick, I just want to have a moment of silence. I want to have a moment of silence for the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, I thought it was
Nets.
gonna be serious. I don't give a fuck.
Nope.
I
Kyrie
never. I
Irving,
mean, I had a moment when they were New Jersey.
who appears to be a huge douchebag to me. Kyrie Irving does, and Kevin Durant are no more with this year in the NBA. They have been beaten by the Boston Celtics. Celtics swept in 4 games, and also a moment of silence for super teams because it has been proven they are fucking assholes and it doesn't work. But that's all I gotta
So
say.
we might as well just stop talking
Get
about
the
the Avengers.
fucking brooms. Yeah, no, but okay, no. So my number 15. We've reached another milestone here. Oh, god damn it. Fuck, I don't want to talk about it. It's gonna make people mad.
Go ahead and tell me.
You go. What's your next
Tell
one?
me. Okay,
Go ahead.
I'll go. I mean, if you want me to.
I'm fucking with you.
Okay.
I just you don't want to.
I was like, I'll give you a moment to collect yourself and write your will.
Dude,
what are you dying?
Yes, it's dark.
What are you dying?
I
know. Some people didn't like it.
We're at number 15 in the Marvel fucking cinematic universe. All right, this is not a bad place to be. All right, these are good movies. We're talking about good movies. We're just talking about now. It's like they're good, but they're not my favorite.
It's like being called cute by a really hot girl. She's like, yeah, he's cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're not hot. You're kind of cute. Yeah.
Fuck, you're
so like, I'll take that. I'll kind of cute.
Shut
That's
the fuck
fine.
up, Stephanie Kyle. But no, I like the movie. I do. Like, I thought Chris Hemsworth was great in the movie. They got a giant fucking wolf dog thing. That shit was crazy. How hot is
I know
their sister?
I never can remember her name.
The whole
your sister's so hot, bro.
Yeah,
Hella. What's her fucking name? What's her name,
Helena.
guys? What's her name? Guys, tell us in the chat.
Helena. Darkness.
No, not Helena. It's Hella. What's her name? What's the actress's name?
Clyde Drexler.
Clive Barker. It's Clive Barker in a leather jacket.
Fuck, I can't remember her name. Goddamn, 30 seconds delay.
She's fucking famous too.
I know. We're trying to think of the actress's name. But yeah, Kate Blanchett. Yeah, Kate Blanchett goes goth, and she's like, from hell.
Ridiculous.
Very, very attractive in that movie. But that being said, look, I just thought it was it felt gaudy. Like, it felt like, I always say this about this movie, when you go to a flea market and you buy one of those pictures and it's got like the waterfall and like the rainbow, it's like, it's cool. I like it. It's entertaining, but it's gaudy. I'm not going to hang it in my main room where company comes over.
Yeah, I get you.
Ragnarok was funny. I thought the Thor fighting Hawk in an arena was fun. But imagine if they took it just a little more serious. Like, if they didn't try to make it like, this is the craziest fucking daycare you've ever been to, bro. Yeah. It's like a Gaddy Town arcade. But imagine if they took all those cool moments and they took them just a little bit more seriously and had a little bit of weight to them and made them like cool moments where you're actually worried about the characters and worried about what's going to happen. I feel like it could have been a way better movie. That being said, it's an entertaining fucking, it's what you call a romp. It's a romp of a fucking film. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, that was a fun fireworks.
Well, I'd agree with you, except if that had happened, we would never get Fat Thor.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd never get Fat Thor.
Yeah, I did love Fat Thor. But yeah, I like it. It's a great movie. It's just not
my
favorite tone.
Yeah. And they had a great Led Zeppelin thing.
Yeah, it's a great song. Fun time.
Yeah.
But it was like
so roasted.
I am already in the chat.
Mike's a racist, and he's
it's like showing up. It's like showing up to a UFC fight, like showing up to see a UFC fight and getting a great WWE match, kinda. That's kind of how it is. It's like the world's best WWE match, but it never really feels real. Like, that's all I'm saying.
No, I can't go down that journey with you, dog, but I get you.
It's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
So my number 14 is going to be Doctor Strange. We talked a little bit about, Mike talked about, why he didn't like it. I felt like they handled it. I enjoyed it. We haven't talked about Thor yet. The first Thor. I feel like it was
Vanessa said she likes to get romped. She likes to get John romped.
Wow, John romped.
Shit. So that's your family attorney or whatever, I think, isn't it? John Romp?
Well, we're not Bruce Wayne. You don't have a family attorney. My dad. Yeah, my dad.
Oh, okay.
He had.
I knew that.
Yeah, he had an attorney and retainer.
Sorry,
but
go ahead.
Anyway, yeah.
Go ahead.
But no, Doctor Strange. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and we haven't mentioned Thor yet. The first Thor. I feel like it was the same kind of thing. It was a mystical, magical adventure, and I like the Harry Potter movies, and I like Lord of the Rings. So it fit right. It fit right in my wheelhouse. So I ate it up. I enjoyed it. I thought that Benedict Cumberbatch brought some charm and some gohannas to that character. And I do like that they explored the tragic backstory of what Doctor Strange was, because Doctor Strange initially was a very famous surgeon, and he was all obsessed with himself, and he was all about that overconfidence and that cockiness, and he was brought down due to a tragic accident. And he folded in on himself, and then he had to go outside of his means to fix it. And I feel like it was a great story, is the fact that don't put all of your eggs in one basket type of situation, or don't be overconfident in life. And I feel like they did a really good job. And I actually was skeptical because they cast Tilda Swanson, I think that's her name, for the Ancient One. I was skeptical. I was like, first off, Ancient One's a dude. Stop fucking gender flipping shit, bitch. And then I was like, she did all right. She did good, because I couldn't tell if that was a guy or a girl. So I was all right with that. I was like, I can't tell what you are, so therefore it doesn't offend me. I don't know what you are. You're an androgynous thing. That's cool. You're just ancient. But she did a really good job. Tilda Swanson did a really good job. They did a really good job with Wong. I enjoyed the relationships. I enjoyed the way the film played out. Mads Mikkelsen, incredible actor, credible villain, but ultimately wasted because, again, I just felt like it was kind of stupid I just felt like, you know what I felt like? I felt like I was enjoying every minute of it, and then they rushed everything toward the finish line at the end of the movie. They was just fucking rushed. It's like, okay, hurry this shit up. I got shit to do. It's like, all right, fast forward a fucking 8. Hit number 8 on your fast forward button on your VCR.
Yeah.
So that's why ultimately, but I still think it was a great movie. I think it was a great introduction to Doctor Strange. So,
well, I mean, you're wrong, but you can be wrong.
But I am right.
Fine,
so it's fine.
No big deal. Okay. I'll say my number 14, and then we'll grab some super chitty chat. Hi ho, chitty chitty bang bang. I love you. My number 14 is going to be Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man.
I like
the
it.
First Ant-Man.
I like
first
it.
Ant-Man film. I thought that, again, we said this about the previous one. I just thought the villain sucked. All right, you got the fucking dudes.
Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, you got the dude from House of Cards that was like Yellow Jacket, the villain. But I thought they did a great job with the origin story. Paul Rudd was super fucking likable, and I thought that his relationship with his daughter made the whole movie. That whole situation where he's doing all that for her and everything just made the movie. He's a con, he's trying to work at fucking Baskin Robbins. That whole storyline.
Yeah,
I think Marvel at that time needed to get brought down to like a simpler level because everything was so crazy. And I thought Ant-Man did a really good job of just making it like that was almost as indie of a movie as a Marvel film gets, I thought, because it was pretty simple and like, not too fantastical.
I still would have loved to see what that one director would have done with it, though.
Oh, Edgar Wright. Oh my God. Edgar Wright would
have been amazing. I mean, because it was already good. No, I agree. It's already a great film. And then if Edgar Wright had complete control, holy shit.
Yeah, for sure. So Ant-Man's not the greatest movie of all time, but I just find it really fucking enjoyable. It's a really good movie. A great supporting cast. So Michael Parton says, not looking forward to Evil Dead Rise because Sam Raimi has nothing to do with it.
I didn't know that.
He's a producer, I believe.
Is it Evil Dead Rise the sequel to the new Evil Dead?
It's in a way, it's not going to have the same cast. It's a brand new cast, brand new story, all that stuff. Bruce Campbell's not involved. It's the one that's going to take place in a skyscraper.
Oh, well, I think
he's producing it.
Well, I think they did a good job with the Evil Dead remake. It took me a little time to, figure that out. But it's one of those movies I actually have watched several times over because I think it's a great movie. I think the Evil Dead remake it's not the Evil Dead that I particularly want, but it's still a good movie. Yeah, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, so I think so.
My Evil Dead rises every morning.
Sam Raimi's on as a producer, so he's still going to be in there. But I do hate that. I hate when a great director decides to just produce everything. It's like, no, dude, get your fucking hands in.
Because they want some money. It's kind of like me. It's like less work, more money.
Did I say one finger?
Less work, more money, sir.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're going for there. Eduardo Santiago, thank you, my friend. He says the Incredible Hulk had the best final fight music in the MCU, not like that black stepchild that was Thor 2.
Yeah, I hate it when Thor fought that black stepchild. It was why are you doing this for? But no, the Incredible Hulk when he fought Abomination, I think that's who it was. Was it Abomination? I'm pretty sure. I
read that. I should have pre-screened that.
But Eduardo, you are correct. Other than what the racist Mike thinks, Incredible Hulk had a really good ending fight scene.
Sure did. Gary, Gary says Ultron should have been built up in multiple movies like Thanos
Dude.
and now Kang. Yes,
Absolutely, yes. Ultron was a throwaway villain for some reason, and I don't get it because it
I
makes
am a corporate puppet.
Yeah, it was like, was that fucking Donald Trump or goddamn Joe Biden walking in there saying, "I'm gonna take over the world. We need a fucking armor suit." I don't know. Yeah, but here's the thing. I think at the end of the day, Ultron was thrown away, and it's sad because Ultron is on the same level of threats that they faced with someone like Doctor Doom or Thanos or Galactus. I mean that.
Yeah.
And they just threw him away. It was one fucking movie, and James Spader said, "I gotta go. I'm talking like I'm goddamn Tony Stark, but I'm not. I'm a bad guy, Tony Stark.
Jibble, jibble, jibble.
I want you to die."
Jibble, jibble, jibble.
It's like stupid.
I don't know what I'm doing there. Okay, did I just? What the fuck am I doing? I'm all over the place.
Hang on, Gary. I like your. That's the first appearance Batman that he's got.
Oh, really? Well, it's gone now, so you can't talk about it.
I saw it.
Highway to the danger zone.
Danger zone, yeah. Danger zone.
What's the most 12-ounce beers y'all ever drank in one session?
That's like every day. I don't know. Probably like fucking. I think I approached 20 beers one time. I think we were close. I know I was close. Yeah, like maybe 20.
Hit 20. You hit 20. Sometimes Jay will come over with the 12er. It's gone like halfway into the night. So you definitely hit 20 before.
When Mike had like a half bottle of whiskey. So I mean, I know it was like a fucking night.
You always do that. Jay always does. He's like, yeah, but you had hard alcohol, dude. It's different. I'm like, no,
because you were throwing like I
drink it slower.
20. Like I didn't do nothing.
I have to. No, it wasn't. I wasn't judging you. Mm-hmm. All right, I wasn't judging you. I'm just saying.
Take your shit and put it in your backpack.
You probably hit 20 several times. I don't know. Like the thing is when you drink that much, you're not counting.
I don't. It's only the next day.
Unless you start building like castles. Like building like can castles or whatever.
I got through that now. I throw them away. If you throw them away while you're drinking, you don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of.
You just throw them away, and you're like, I don't know. I just throw them away. It's like like I only see 2 beer bottles. I only had like 6.
Yeah, and I got to run around. Like I can't ever drink. If I'm going to drink that much, I can't drink the same thing. I have to switch it up throughout the night.
Actually, no, that's not true. This is true. We did the Centurions challenge.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
That's
but
probably
that's only 12 beers.
That's the most in one setting that I've ever drank in my life.
That's only 12 beers though.
But you're doing it. Well, that's true. That's true. But you're doing it in a shot. You're doing it a shot every 1 minute.
That was a crazy night. That was a crazy night for sure. The Jaeger Bomb, thank you, sir, says, "Hey Jay, since Mike got canceled and has to leave the channel, I'm in Cincinnati, so I'll take his spot."
Okay,
that's interesting.
We'll talk about it. Are you black?
Are you gonna have tryouts?
Are you black? Do you have a black stepchild? Because
I think the best thing to do is definitely to replace me with someone of color since I canceled myself in such an awful way.
Inclusion, okay?
Yeah,
you have to be gay too. You have to be RuPaul.
I'd like to say if you could just get someone to replace me, that that would be the fairest thing to do.
Hey guys, sure, it happens. Get out of here.
Things happen in life, and I apologized, and I'd like to take this time to apologize again. Aliens on VHS says, "Long time stalker, first time talker. Good journey. Hey. Welcome, friend. Welcome to you and yours. Thank you. Welcome to the time. I'll be back in 1 second. Just got to get a drink from fridge. Okay."
He's gonna go cry. Gonna go cry. Alien, he didn't click your name away, but you have a very friendly face. Aliens on VHS, and thank you for your super chat. Like, doesn't he have a nice face? Like, he looks like the guy that just approved your loan at the bank, because you went in and you were thinking there's no way they're gonna approve it. There's no way I'm gonna get $1,000 tonight because I need it, or today. And he's like, guess what? Good news. It's approved. It's a nice guy right there. I can tell. And he's got like a cool little newspaper boy hat. It's all working for him. And that was the second time I got crabs.
Ah, yes. And by the way, I do want to throw this out there for anyone who just joined. I didn't say anything that bad. It probably seems like I said something way worse than I fucking said. I slipped up, and instead of saying black sheep, I said
we're all having a fun. We're having a fun.
Just so you know, if you're new, I didn't say anything that bad. I just fucking am embarrassed of myself for saying something stupid. Just to slip.
I said worse. Trust me.
I remember that night. Jason,
but it was on Patreon, so thank God.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was on the.
Oh, was it
on,
real?
It
Oh,
was on
yeah.
Friday Night Fight. Yeah.
You guys can
Yeah.
find that. You guys can find that clip.
Yeah,
That was a different day.
Jesus. Well, now we even.
Well, I didn't do it on purpose like you.
Neither did I, motherfucker. Jesus. That's why live shows. If you ever wondered if it's live, it's fucking live. Jay Sloan. Thanks, buddy.
Dude, Mike got so nervous he put my Shang-Chi all the way to the left.
Oh, fuck. Jay Sloan says, "Sup, gentlemen? New Patreon and Biscuit Boy here. Welcome. Thank you for your patronage." You hot Scott says, "Could Dr. Chalice and Dr. Loomis please tell my girlfriend Hope that drinking isn't such a bad thing? Keep being awesome, you two." Yeah, well, what she needs to realize here, Jay Sloan, is that you have a couple brewskis, you have a couple Boilermakers, all right? It makes you more relaxed, it makes you a good guy. And when she kicks the bucket, ultimately, all right, you're going to go out, you're going to have you a couple at a Cubs game, and you're going to be looking around. You're going to say, "Hey, I'm at a funeral, all right? It's my wife's funeral," and he's going to keep your sister company, all right? He's going to have a couple of Miller Lights. He's going to have a few of those vodka spritzers. Maybe what do they call them? Well, the White Claws. All right. He's going to get ran up on those White Claws, and he's going to get your sister ran up on those White Claws, and then you're going to be family again. So just let the man drink, because if you don't, he's going to have doctor's conferences, and you'll never see him again, and he'll call you Monday. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not that bad. It's a good thing.
I hope it's not a bad thing to drink alcohol or beer. Because the hope is that he might marry you. And the only way that he can get through your arguments, the screeching in his brain sometimes, is to drink that goddamn alcohol. Because guess what? Sometimes you can be annoying. You can yell at him for no reason. It's like, "Oh, you want to play your little Batman game? Oh, you want to play your little game on Xbox? You're a piece of shit. You're not a man." And then he says, "Oh, I got to go and have some Bud Light for my troubles." And then she's like, "Oh, that's it. That's it, Jay Sloan. Drink because you're just scared of the truth. Guess what's scary for you? Sometimes men drink because they couldn't stand to be in the room with you. Calm it down. Let him have his space. Let him have his time. Let him drink a little bit. End of the day, that's it."
Now, Hope, if it doesn't work out, you just meet me at Haddonfield Memorial. All right, I work the night shift.
Slut mouth out of this conversation. First off, no one's trying to steal your girl.
Or Jay Sloan, if she leaves you, hey, put a couple Boilermakers in me. It doesn't matter.
Talking out of his asshole.
Oh, yeah. Good times had by all. I could come over and talk to you both about it naked in a Turkish bathtub if you'd like.
That sounds like a Valtrex refillment.
Oh, yeah. Coming your way. Ghoulish73 says, "I don't have much to say. I just want to show some support and love to my two favorite dudes."
Hey, that was very nice. Thank you so much, Ghoulish.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much for that. We very much appreciate it, and we need it. We will need it when we're going straight to fucking hell. Speaking of hell, I don't know why I said that. It has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. Trulies are all right, Ernie. The best thing about the vodka spritzer things is that if you need a palate cleanser, if you've been drinking one thing all day, you've been day drinking, you need to switch it up to go into the night drinking, throw in some White Claws in there or whatever. What's your number 13, Jay? I'll shut the fuck
up. My number 13 is Black Panther. Look, there was a lot of press when this movie came out. They were heralding it as like, a game changer. And it was, it was fucking Michael Jordan win the NBA championship title 18 times in a row. And I didn't let that bother me. I still went and watched it with an open mind because I was like, you know what? The media is the media, and they're trying to blow up a story for no reason whatsoever. It's a good movie. It's a decent movie. And I don't feel like there's anything in the movie necessarily that is shoving any kind of social justice shit down your throat. I feel like it's just a good movie. And I feel like they could have let the movie speak for itself without the media interference. But of course, media going to do what the media going to do. I still feel like it's a solid movie. Chadwick Boseman is incredible. He was incredible as Black Panther. I feel like he really embodied that character. And I remember reading I actually had a subscription to Black Panther comic books back in the day when they relaunched it under the Marvel Knights. I think it was Marvel Knights back in like the late 90s. And it felt very much like those comic books. And I felt like he embodied that character very, very well. I enjoyed it. I feel like Killmonger, the bad guy, was was great. I think they did a good job with his character because you had two different opposing sides in the way the world works. You had one that felt like, it's not so good for us to be open and honest with everybody because they're going to come in and they're going to take advantage of everything, and we don't want a McDonald's on the fucking corner of Wakanda and whatever. And then Killmonger was like, "Now fuck that. We want a Starbucks and we want a Burger King. Fuck you. Let's open the shores." I felt like you had two of, they were both like, they both had good points. I felt like they both had good points. But ultimately, it was a good, solid movie. I felt like it was a really good, solid movie. I don't know. I don't think it was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. I don't think it was one of the movies that like redefined a generation. I don't think it's a fucking, a goddamn magnum opus. I feel like it was a solid movie that was overhyped by the media and Twitter and Instagram and all the other fucking Fruit Loops out there because they have nothing else better to do except to overinflate bullshit for agendas. But ultimately, good movie, solid movie. Liked it, enjoyed it. Chadwick Boseman, awesome, really good. Sad that he's gone. Great Black Panther in the day.
Well, I don't know about you, but after my actions tonight, Black Panther's my number one.
You should do that, Mike. You should do that, and you should wear a shirt with Black Panther for the next 3 weeks.
God.
The next 3 weeks, wear a Black Panther shirt. You piece of shit.
My number 13 is going to be Age of Ultron.
Damn, yours is. I always thought you hated that movie more than me.
It's not. Well, it's still, to me, like it's still an Avengers movie. Like, and it was one of the movies that got you. You saw it the first time, and you were still all high on that Marvel supply.
Yeah.
Like, and you walked out going, "That was fucking badass." And then you watch it a second time and a third time and a fourth time, and you go, "Damn, I was watching this with the rose-colored glasses on." You know what I mean? It was one of those that gets you. And it really was. It's got a lot of problems with it, a lot of pacing problems. The endings just takes forever. That their Quicksilver was terrible compared
I
to
know
what they did in X-Men. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck, you did not see that coming.
He was in for like 20 minutes.
Still has the greatest comedic line in all Marvel Cinematic history.
I didn't mention it. I was gonna let you do it because I knew your shit was up there. But
God, when he goes in, he's like, Iron Man's like, "It's a great party." He's like, "No, it wasn't."
That's so good, dude. Yeah,
I fucking love that line. But the reason it's so high on the list is because you still had them all interacting. I love them hanging out at the party, drinking together, trying to pick up Thor's hammer.
That was cool. Yeah.
Ultron should have been scarier. He shouldn't look like such a Five Nights at Freddy's fucking puppet. You know what I mean? Like, he should have been cooler than he was. And like, it's way too much CGI at the end. And but still, it's still an entertaining, funny, pretty decent, solid fucking Avengers flick. And what can you say when you got all those heroes on screen together? It was still pretty fresh to us to see that. So it was still pretty special.
It looks like me when I'm like fake arguing with my significant other and I've been drinking. I'm like, "There's no strings on me. You can't stop me," because you're drunk and you're saying stupid shit. You're like, "I am free. You can't control me."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's where mine's at. So.
All right.
What's your number 12?
So my 12.
Yeah.
Hey,
look.
So,
help! I have children. Don't cancel me.
Help!
I have children. Please don't.
She's not black or a
I'm a good
stepchild.
person.
She's still canceled. Get out of my face. No, my number 12 is going to be and Mike talked about this earlier, Spider-Man Homecoming. And again, I agree with most of the points that Mike made about it. Again, it's not our generation's Spider-Man, so it's really hard to have any kind of I don't know what would you call it, attraction to the character that Tom Holland is playing, because it's outside of our age group. But I feel like it was cool to see Spider-Man come back into the fold. And I feel like they actually handled, as far as the costuming goes, I feel like they handled it in the exact way that it was written. Like when Stan Lee and was it Ditko that wrote that showed his costume. I think they did a incredible job there. And actually, the relationship between Tony Stark and Peter Parker was cool and it was good. And I thought that was nice. I feel like and obviously Michael Keaton was incredible as a bad guy and as Vulture, but I feel like the poignant scene for me, and I actually cried a little bit, is when he's like buried under all that steel and shit, and he has to be Spider-Man, and he hears that voice echoing. He's like, "You're just a kid. You'll never be able to be any of that stuff without this suit. If you're not here without that suit, then you don't deserve it, or whatever that Tony Stark said to him. Or if you're nothing with that, that was a great. And then you can, Tom Holland does such a good job. He's like, I am Spider-Man, and he like stands up and he like throws the fucking steel off of him. And I feel like that was a graduating step that Tony Stark wanted to see in Spider-Man. He's like, you got to believe in yourself. Now, I feel like they did a really good job. And the action sequences and the high school stuff, okay, I mean, it was cool or whatever. I felt like those two, the relationship between Tony Stark and him, and that poignant scene when he has to lift all that steel off of him by himself with nobody to help him, are the two standouts. So yeah, it's number 12 for me for that reason.
My number 12, Jay, it's going to be
Biscuit Butt. That's a really good under heralded Marvel movie, and a lot of people don't know about it. So there was a biscuit, and one day he's like, I like to fuck butts.
I'm gonna shove it in my butt.
And it happened to be Captain America's butt. And then that's how he got into the Avengers.
My name's Jeff.
My name is Jeff is the inspirational story from a Mexican immigrant that became Jeff.
Mine's gonna be Black Panther. But you said what you said about it. I think it was when it came out, people were being way too crazy, like you said about it. But it was actually just on its own without that bullshit. It was a really good movie, really good action scenes in it. I felt like, and Chadwick Boseman was fucking amazing in it. He did awesome. He was awesome in Civil War, in his parts in Civil War.
Yeah, it was great. I loved him. Yeah.
Wakanda was cool. It's just like sometimes I wish some of these movies weren't made by Marvel. I wish they weren't in the cinematic universe, because some of that shit, it would be really cool to see a visionary director create Wakanda in his own way, where it doesn't just look like something that looks like everything else in the Marvel universe, just with that spin on it. I would love to see like a Neil Blomkamp's fucking Wakanda, or like some shit like that, like some crazy, like some visionary director's version of what that movie would look like. I feel like the movie and Chadwick Boseman and the character, I felt like it deserved something more visionary. Where they actually nerfed the movie a little bit was where they had to fit it into this MCU and do all the same shit they did.
Yeah.
It had some other themes that were way more interesting than some of the other stuff that was going on. They could never really put their foot to the pedal on that. And I'm not talking about social themes. I'm talking about just like grittiness,
right?
That movie could have had. And but it was still a really good film. It was some good fight scenes in it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I think it just goes back to the fact, like you said it right. Let the movie speak for itself. People of color and whatnot don't need white people fucking defending them. I mean, they can, let the fucking movie speak for itself, because this is always the loudest fucking group, and that's goddamn the truth. On any other social media platform, it's always white fucking privileged ass women that are always screaming and screeching about, they need help. No, they don't. Let the fucking
go tell it on the mountain, sisters.
Yeah,
like,
let the movie speak for itself.
Target right now,
let
Karen?
it be judged by its merits, and we'll have a great time afterwards. Okay, shut the fuck up and go back to your goddamn Rolls Royce, bitch, and drink your Starbucks.
I'm gonna switch my battery.
I stored it a little bit. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm not angry about it. It's whatever. It was old. It's old. That was old. So stupid. I know, but it's weird. Like, some shit just still pisses you off sometimes. And I was like, I think that Black Panther is a really good fucking movie. I really do. And it's just really sad that it was like, hanged on with this whole movement. It was fucking stupid. It's like, dude, just let the movie speak. Let the movie speak. The fans are smart enough. They'll figure it out. If they like it, they like it. They don't like it, they don't like it. It has nothing to do with social media. So my number 11, and we've talked about, again, I don't want you guys to be here all night or anything like that. So, I mean, I'll go through, I'm not going to take too much time talking about it. So my number 11 is going to be Ant-Man. I feel like Ant-Man was different enough and strange enough and weird enough that it did something that only up to that point the Guardians had done. Like, it broke the mold. It brought it back to a more pedestrian type of level superhero, which you hadn't really seen yet. And Paul Rudd was the perfect guy to portray that. And I thought they did a great job. I felt like Ant-Man was likable. I thought Paul Rudd was likable. I thought the characters were likable. Michael Pena was incredible. He was so good, so awesome. The bad guy was, yes, he was not intimidating or. Yeah, but
He was
I
a
mean, I
fucking
wasn't.
beat.
Yeah, but I felt like, honest to God, I felt like this was the Paul Rudd from This Is 40, just being in a superhero movie, and that's why I fucking liked it. Like, if you saw the movie This Is 40 with Paul Rudd, this is exactly Paul Rudd put it in a superhero movie, and I was like, I thought it was great. So yeah, Ant-Man. I just thought it was different enough and strange enough and weird enough and funny enough that it works. So
Yes, I agree with you, you motherfucker. And my number 11 is going to be Iron Man 2. You like that?
No, I don't. That's so high.
Hey, we're getting really fucking high
Yeah.
on this list now. We're almost to the top 10. We'll take PP breaks before the top 10.
I have to go. Yeah.
Yes, we will. Go ahead and go now if you don't want to hear
All
me
right.
tell you what you already know that I know about what I don't make me bleed my own blood. But I'll tell you this, Iron Man 2 is fucking pretty good to me. I like it. Look, I got a soft spot for Iron Man. I got a soft spot for Ronnie Downey Jr. I have a soft spot for young men of age who are struggling through life. And I would like to provide a grant for them to get better work in the community. Is definitely what I was going with. If you look at document 12B, you'll see that that's not as filthy as it sounded when I said it out loud. And I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy. That's a Dumb and Dumber joke. What is wrong with me tonight? Jesus Christ! I like Iron Man 2 a lot. I like Iron Man 2 a lot. It's I love the fact that they actually deal with, and Jay was talking about this earlier, they deal with Tony Stark's. I'm not even drunk. I've just been sick. All right. I've been sick. I'm pretty sure I have COVID fog brain right now. I've not tested myself, so I probably don't have COVID. I'm kidding. But I love the fact that they dealt with his alcoholism, and that when they go to the party and he's all fucked up and he's struggling really, really bad. There's something about Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark that he really brings you into whatever he's going through at that moment. So even though there's a lot of problems with Iron Man 2, I felt the shit that he was going through when he's tinkering in the fucking in his basically bat cave and stuff is going on, and he's freaking out and he's having all these issues with Pepper and everything with the business and all that stuff, and nobody understands him, and he's freaking out in his own lair just on his own out here somewhere else, and nobody gets where he's coming from. Like, I always just connect with that a little bit. I really enjoy what he goes through in his arc in that fucking movie a lot. So I actually put up with the dumb whiplash shit, and I like some of the stuff that other people don't like about that movie. I can get over it. That being said, was bird. I want the bird. Like, that whole shit was kind of dumb. It's a little stupid. And but the scenes with him in court when he was fighting with the dudes in the court, that shit was great. And they continued it, I believe, in Iron Man 3. Which movie was it where he was like, and you can count on me to pleasure myself. Like, I love those fucking movies so much, man. Yeah, Tony Hawk's fucking great. And yeah, Vanessa, I have totally stroked out tonight. This is my this is my just fucking brain fart of a goddamn stream. But yeah, it's Iron Man 2. I like that movie a whole lot. Did I even write it down? I don't think I did. Nope, it's down here on the second page. I like to call them keepers. That's what I do. But yeah, a lot of people hate Iron Man 2. I just fucking love it. I really do. But I'm a sucker for fucking Iron Man movies, as you'll find out as the night goes on. For sure. For sure. You will. That's just how it goes. Tomo, I'm not drinking Corona, okay? I'm on a diet, sir. And the only Coronas you can drink on a diet are premiered. You might as well just piss in a fucking toilet, put that shit in a cup, and drink it, because it's just piss water. That's all it is. I'm not even drunk, Mr. J. I'm just having a night. I'm just having a night of saying dumb shit. So, it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. It's going to be all right. We're going to be okay. We're going to regroup. We're going to get it back together. This is not on the internet where everybody can see it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm going to put my glasses back on and become a different person. And everything's going to be good. So nobody do anything with any of the footage you see here tonight. And let's all just be glad that nobody watches this YouTube channel. And one day when I run for office, we all know that's not going to happen. But yeah, what are you going to do? What are you gonna do? I've been sick, you fucking dickheads. All right, I've been sick. Feel bad for me. Can I get some guilt in this bitch or what? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Call me Clark, you fucking horse. Oh, God. But I love that you're all here to experience it with me and beat me over the head with it. I just want to let you all know that I am going to become a Scientologist to make up for all these sins that I've done. And that'll make everyone love me. Scientology will save me. Little Jimmy's sick of me. That's good. I hold myself in contempt. Why should you be any different? That's a liar thing. But yeah, no. I'm kicking my own ass. Do you mind? It's been a week, guys. Dan says, is it 2012 again? Yeah. These are fake. These are fake. These are just these are blue light glasses. I don't even wear them for real. I didn't have health insurance for a really long time, so I should really get my eyes checked out. That's a serious thing. Okay. But these are just because sometimes the computer gives me a headache because I stare at it so long because I work so hard on all the racist Facebook groups I'm in. I gotta keep those things running. You know, they're not going to run themselves. They're not going to run themselves. It's very important that I keep those going.
I got divorced.
Hey, buddy.
That quick.
Hey, I'm glad you're back.
What happened?
I don't know. I think I said something about school children. I'm on a roll.
I hope you keep getting us canceled.
I'm having a great night.
Because it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go. I'm going to
So you may, I'll just go to my number 10 then.
Yeah, you go ahead and you do that.
I'm going to go to my number 10.
You do that. I'm going to go.
I'll
be back. Yeah,
so we didn't write it down, but my number 10 is going to be Thor Ragnarok is my number 10. So it's definitely a top 10 Marvel movie for me. I feel like what they did with the character after Thor 2 is they completely reinvented the character, and they did it in the right way. And I felt like they were in the right direction. And you had more fun. And I always felt like Thor, Thor itself, the character itself, lends itself to this fantastical adventure type of storytelling. And I feel like Thor 2 dropped the ball tremendously. And then in Thor Ragnarok, they got back to what made Thor special. And you could tell that Chris Hemsworth himself was having a lot more fun exploring this side of the character. And I feel like overall, Thor Ragnarok, not only a great soundtrack, but just great character development and an amazing cast. And Hela being the villain, the villainess in this was incredible. And then you have the touching moment with Odin and Loki and Thor. And I just felt like overall Ragnarok didn't just meet expectations, it exceeded expectations. I mean, there were some problems with the film for sure. I don't think that it was a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I do feel that it took a page from what Guardians had done, and it interplayed a lot of the comedy aspects of what Guardians did, but it also mixed in the drama aspects, and I think they did a really good job. It's a hard thing to do, to balance that out. And I just feel ultimately Ragnarok was a second coming for Thor. I feel like it was. Now, you don't normally get away with that kind of stuff. Like, they reinvented Thor. They reinvented a mainstay of the Avengers team of Marvel in a way that worked, and I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a great job overall. But that's my opinion. Yeah, Korg is great. Yeah, and again, Stephanie says right. Korg was awesome. Rexion says can't wait for Love and Thunder. I'm torn on Love and Thunder. I think that I want to see it because it's going to be interesting on how they move the mantle to Natalie Portman as Lady Thor. And and again, let's not. Lady Thor is very important and integral. No, I don't know. Integral is a strong word. She's very important to the Marvel universe. I know who Lady Thor is. It'll be, but I am interested in it. It looked funny, Chris Pratt and Hemsworth, and the way that Hemsworth is going to bounce off of that whole transfer of power and how that's all going to work. I think it's going to be fun. But also, to be honest, why didn't they do a Thunderstrike movie first? Because if you're going to go technically, Thunderstrike was Beta Ray Bill was the first, and then you have Thunderstrike, and then they just went straight to Lady Thor. I don't know. I just think it's kind of like, I don't know. Holly Roxy says, I'm not excited about Jane. I don't know. Never loved the character. I'm kind of the same. Jane Foster is a cool character, and she's all right. I mean, I don't know, but I always felt like Natalie Portman just didn't give him that much of a shit especially after Dark World, because it really took a dump on her face, and she was like, like, and you guys can look it up. When the Comic-Con thing happened and Natalie Portman was, this whole spectacle was happening and they were presenting the hammer to her, she looked very uncomfortable. It looked like she was like, oh, okay, it's just a movie though. I don't know. I feel like they could have done Lady Thor. I don't think it's needed right now, to be honest. I feel like you could have done Eric Masterson, Thunderstrike first, Beta Ray Bill, and then led into Lady Thor. But from what I think someone was saying earlier, they were saying earlier that, which is correct, I think. Hold on, let me say. Somebody said something. I'm trying to. Okay, Eduardo Santiago. I'm sorry. I think that Jane dies at the end. That's very poignant because I read somewhere that actually the reason why Natalie Portman becomes Thor is that they're going to explore the fact that she was dying of cancer, and she has to take Mjolnir to, or at least a new version of Mjolnir to become, or to save her life. I don't know. We'll see. And again, it goes back to the same shit, guys. Like the same shit, like social media involving itself in this stuff, making it more than it is. Women fucking, yes, right, bitch. We got titties and a vagina and we're stronger than you. Okay. I mean, I like your titties and vagina. We all are on the equal playing field. I don't know. I just feel like social media took this and ran with it, and they were trying to make it a bigger deal than it actually was. Okay, it's fun, but I feel like they could have done a lot of different things other than go straight to Lady Thor. And again, I'm going to point out the fact that I know that people like Lady Thor. I understand. Mike was actually telling me that he did a trailer reaction for Love and Thunder, and there was a lot of heated debate, I should say, in the comments. Well, now here's the thing: you can have heated debate in the comments about Lady Thor, but all Mike was saying, I assume, objection hearsay, I'm just saying, I assume, was the same way I felt when I watched it, and I watched it on accident, is that when I watched it, I didn't even know it was fucking Love and Thunder. I saw heavily in the movie Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth, and then she shows up at the end, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, but trust me, I know who Lady Thor is, and she is an important part of Marvel, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just not needed. I don't know. That's my opinion on Love and Thunder.
What was your number 10?
Oh, Ragnarok.
Oh, Thor Ragnarok. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we were talking about Thor.
Ragnarok.
We were talking about the Ragnarok. Yeah, it's like, you ready for the Thor Ragnarok, bitch? And then you like 2 seconds, you're like, yeah, that was it.
It's over.
Thunderstruck.
You don't even get to the. You just get. Oh, I came.
I come from the land of Oh, that's it.
Oh shit.
That's it.
Oh fuck. All right, my number 10 is gonna be Thor. My number 10 is Thor. Very high on the list, but that's because I
I
feel like
love Thor.
Thor
Yeah.
does not give enough love. It doesn't get enough love, man. It really doesn't. Like people show in this movie, and I feel like it somehow took the character of Thor, and it's the most grounded he's been in the entire series, aside from maybe Fat Thor, where he's like drinking and shit like that and playing Xbox.
That's the best
Doing it
one,
more
yeah.
grounded than that. But Thor just felt like it felt like its own thing. I don't know. It feels like what they did with the Rainbow Bridge and all that shit. I thought it was really dope. I thought it was really cool how they built that whole
me too.
world,
Yeah.
and he was great. And I thought they tied in Earth with what the fuck's he from, dude?
Asgard.
Asgard. I thought they tied in Asgard. I thought they tied in Thor with the Earth with Asgard really well, and I just really enjoyed.
Caitlyn Jenner knows about Asgard.
and you know when he's drinking, literally doing Boilermakers with the scientist dude, that whole thing.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
fish out of water, that whole element. Thor's great, dude. It's a great fucking movie.
Fuck yeah, I like it. And you know, I was pleasantly surprised that Mike liked it as much as I, because I didn't think he would. So for my number 9 spot is going to be Thor.
Hey,
you know what I liked about Thor is that Thor is a very hard character to really bring to the mainstream audience in a way that's relatable, that's fun, that's got the oomph to really kick it up into the stratosphere. And I think they did a great job. I always liked you know, and I know it's corny, guys. Okay, I get it. But Masters of the Universe back in the late 80s that they tried to do with Dolph Lundgren, I feel like I still have fun with it. You know, it was a magical adventure. It was very magical, and it was all this weird shit. But I was like, man, you know what? It just makes me feel good. I'm having a good goddamn time. And I feel like that's what Thor did. I feel like Thor let you have a good time. It was fantastical. It was a crazy ass story. These Asgardian gods exist, and they live up. They live up in Asgard, and there's a rainbow bridge that connects them to Midgard or Earth, and they come and visit now and again. It was very fucking crazy town, but they presented it in a way that was fun, and it was accessible to the everyday layman, and I thought that was cool. And also, Tom Hiddleston knocked it out of the park as Loki. I mean, it was my favorite scene in Thor. It has to be. It was a very Shakespearean moment, because there's a lot of Shakespearean type of language and scenery in this movie. Is when Tom Hiddleston's Loki is having a conversation with Anthony Hopkins' Odin, and he was like, "Telling me," when they're
you're an old man and a fool.
Yeah, and then he was like, "No, Loki, no, Loki," and I was like, "Man, you know what? Like, I got teary-eyed that scene, because I was like, it was just this guy that wanted to know his heritage. He wanted to know, why do you treat me this way, or what's going on with my past." I thought they did a great job of not only presenting the very, you know, astute Shakespearean type of lore that is Thor, but they also brought it down to the layman level where everybody could get involved with it. You know, and I got to be honest with you, I think that Thor did what Man of Steel did. Thor was relatable. You know, Thor was relatable. And, you know, always people shit on Man of Steel, but Man of Steel made Superman relatable. So I feel like Thor was relatable in a lot of ways in this movie.
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. That assessment.
Asgard.
Asgard. Mark Wren said Jay smelled Mike's seat while he's in the bathroom.
No, it smells like poop and fucking desperation.
He knows what it smells like.
I know what
that's
that
just
is.
my sense.
It smells like wet juice.
If we ever get,
it smells like wet wiener juice. I don't want to smell that. Dick cheese.
I can smell your wiener juice, dude. I can smell your juices. Marco Viva Toro said Tony Hawk Stark doing 360 on Mike's brain. Yeah, dude, fuck me up. When you were gone, I called Tony Hawk Tony Stark. Tony Stark, Tony Hawk, and it fucked my brain.
I mean, I only know a couple of Tonys in my life.
Yeah,
Tony's a weird name.
Tony.
It's not a weird name, but I only know a couple of Tonys.
Yeah,
and they're usually from mafia movies.
Hey,
Tony.
Holly Roxy said, "Doth mother know you wear her drapes?"
That was an Avengers, but yeah, that's a great line. Yeah, I love that one.
Okay. Now we're in the top 10. My number 9 is going to be. Oh, here we go. God damn it! I wish that this came at a different time when I wasn't struggling so hard, because now I'm gonna have to explain myself. It's going to be Iron Man 3. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know you
I
like
know.
it though.
I know. Here we are. Fuck you at the drive-thru. All right. Listen, I fucking love Iron Man 3. And it's a very personal choice. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying everybody should agree with it. I know most people will not agree with it. I fucking love Iron Man 3. All right. Iron Man 3 came to me at a time in my life where I was having awful, debilitating panic attacks. And to see that on screen in someone as powerful and as confident as Tony Stark, to see him good, specifically the scene where he's in the restaurant and he's coloring with the crowd, the kids come up and ask for an autograph, and he freaks the fuck out and he lands outside. He's like, "What is it, Jarvis? What is it? Is it a fucking heart attack? Is it this?" And he's like, "It seems you're having a panic attack, sir." And he's like, "Me?" You know, that whole thing. And then where he gets so fucking crazy with it that he's trying to overprotect his family so much that the not droid, but one of the suits attacks Pepper in his sleep and whatever. And he's going through that thing where he challenges the Mandarin. He's like, "Hey, here's my fucking address. Come to my fucking house." Like, he tries to overcompensate. And like that whole thing, just like everything that he went through in that movie, as much as it is a huge Marvel like tentpole movie, to me it felt very realistic. And you don't see. You see it a lot in film now. They actually deal with panic attacks and shit like that, but you rarely see it in somebody so powerful.
They brought it down to the level.
Yeah, and to see him go through that just personally means something to me. I love that movie. I've watched it a couple times a year. It's just a personal fucking, I adore that goddamn movie. Is the end a little bit too much? Yeah, I don't think Guy Pearce was a great bad guy, by the way.
No,
I really don't think
I like Guy Pearce, but yeah, he didn't fit.
Yeah, but I really I fucking adore that movie.
You know what? I feel like I will say that I think Iron Man 3 would have been even higher on my list if they had just removed the bad guy, because that whole special effects bullshit where he was like doing the, and then it was all CG, and it was like, this is dumb, because they already had like it set up where he was a broken individual, right? And he's all fucked up, and he's trying to deal with the stresses of what's happening in his life, and he was like, basically in his mind, he's like, I'm just an inventor, man. And I'm dealing with all this crazy shit. If they had just stuck with that and then gone with more of a realistic bad guy, it would have been, I think it would have been heads and tails way. I think that's when they should have done the Mandarin. I mean, I know he's not realistic, but they could have done the Mandarin there.
And they fucked up with that. They fucked up by doing the Ben Kingsley.
Not Ben Kingsley. Yeah.
It was a terrible choice.
See me coming.
Yeah. And that's
all the time.
Yeah. That's where they fucked up, is by making big. And I get that's why most people don't like the movie. So I'm totally with it. I also, Lethal Weapon's one of my favorite movies of all time. Maybe my favorite movie of all time. So Shane Black being the director, it had a lot of that espionage stuff. That just, they took Tony Stark down to bare bones without a, like, what would he do without a suit? And he had to figure shit out. And when he goes to like Home Depot or whatever, and he's like wearing the hood and he's looking up that shit. And then the relationship with him and that kid.
That was great. I love that.
That was great. So there's just like, the movie's not a 10, but there's many moments in that movie that are a straight up 10 to me. And when his whole house gets destroyed like that, I thought it was pretty fucking dope. It was pretty cool. So I love that movie. I just do.
I get you. What
you, dog. What are you gonna do?
I mean, you're not gonna not get Randy Jackson's autograph on a katana sword.
No way.
So my number 8 is going to be Captain America: Civil War. I feel like, and again, this is in the top 10, so it's not going to be my top 5. And I know that some people, I think I saw some of the chat saying that Civil War was their favorite. And of course, I get it. I mean, I 100% get it. But I feel like Civil War was such a monumental, I mean, and again, I'm only going to be brief here, but I feel like Civil War was such a monumental event in the Marvel comic books. I feel like they should have built it up over several movies and then had an ultimate, moment. Either you're going to do Thanos or Civil War. I feel like you could have done Civil War at the end and had this very, you don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to win. And then there are stakes, right? So if you do Civil War instead of Endgame, I'm not saying, I mean, trust me, Endgame is high as fuck, but I'm just saying high as fuck as me is awesome. But I'm saying Civil War, if you built that up for a few movies and then actually did it like the comic books did it, man, that would be really cool, because you don't know who's going to win or lose. You don't know who's going to go to jail. You don't know who's going to die. Cool. But I do like Civil War for the fact that it does put two opposing sides in Iron Man's, Tony Stark's viewpoint of the world against Captain America's viewpoint of the world. Very much to the fact that Iron Man feels like you should be an employee of the government and do what the government tells you. And that's the way that it works. And we all have special abilities or gifts, and, the government should regulate that. And Captain America's like, no, dog, it ain't me. I'm going to go out and save people, and I feel like they explored that pretty well, because Captain America says, well, what happens when you're sent into a country when you don't agree with the politics? Pretty much, the government tells you got to go in and kill these fuckers and or subdue them. And you're like, I don't agree with that though. But the government says, you got to do it. you got to do it or you ain't getting your 401k. And you're like, well, I got to go do it then. And then there's this back and forth philosophy on what's right and what's wrong. And I feel like they do a good job in a 2-hour plus movie of condensing that Civil War into that. And I think the best part about the movie really is the fact, I mean, I think that anybody would say this, Spider-Man's introduced. I mean, it's the first time Spider-Man comes into the MCU, which is cool as fuck. It really was a great moment. It was a really like, holy shit, that's Spider-Man. I feel like they revealed it in the trailer. And I don't think that they should have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I would not have done that. When he's like, what's up, everyone? I would have waited. I think if you'd waited for that, like expulsion of the sperm in the theater, it would have been everyone would have got pregnant.
Yeah.
Everyone would have got pregnant when they left.
The No Way Home moment there.
Yeah. But Civil War was still good. And it was sad. And, you know, there was something about watching Winter Soldier and Captain America team up on Iron Man at the very end of the movie and they're fighting and, you know, Captain America was like, you're my friend. And you know, Tony Stark says something like, I was yours or something. I don't know. Very well done. The ending, they're very dramatic. Very well done. But I just feel like it was longer, but I still feel like it was the first time Marvel had done something that actually mattered. You know, like this was actually like stakes that shit could go wrong or could go sideways.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
That's why I love it so much.
It's my number 8 as well. It's my number 8, and I toggle like I want to put this higher. I do. It's crazy that a Marvel movie could be number 8 in your list and actually overall be a disappointment to you. And that's kind of what Civil War is to me. Like as high as it is on my list, the movie's still a disappointment to me because, like you were saying, what actually happens in the comic book story is fucking nuts. You could have finished this whole gigantic thing with Civil War being the end of these heroes as we know it.
That could have been phase 1 right there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So like I thought when you came down to brass tacks in the movie, it was like we even said leading up to it, we were covering all the trailers. We're like, people are gonna fucking die. They're gonna die in this fucking movie, and no one did. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody fucking did almost. So like I think the only thing that happened was Rhodey broke his back or whatever.
Rhodey broke his back, and then
you find out what Winter Soldier did and all that. But like the ending was great where Captain America's fighting Iron Man. That scene was so dope.
Yeah, and I'm going to clarify because I don't want people. He says, he's my friend. And he's like, so was I. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck! Yeah. You're right. But it's still my boy. It's my boy from the 40s. I known him a lot longer than you, dog.
What should have been a absolutely detrimental fucking like world-breaking series of movies. Technically, Civil War is kind of the same problem that Batman vs Superman did with Doomsday. You have this moment, and it should have been 3 or 4 movies by itself with Doomsday, and you just shoehorned it into one movie.
Yeah.
Civil War was kind of that. And I don't think they did that. I don't think they did the comic book line justice. And even the tarmac scene, as great as it was, Ant-Man getting huge is fucking awesome. This should have been number 1, 2, or 3. But even in that scene, it was a training exercise at most. I mean, I know they were fighting, but were they really fucking fighting? No, they didn't want to hurt each other.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, it was more of like, it was like the Danger Room in X-Men.
The tarmac scene was cool because it was the first time you ever saw that on screen, and it was cool. Yeah. But at the same time, you're like, they're not really going to do anything.
There's no stakes.
Yeah. So well, you know, because if you look at the Civil War comic line, I mean, Spider-Man reveals his identity under the pressure of Iron Man, like Tony Stark, who's acting like his father figure and like, you need to do this. And then he winds up regretting it and then joining Captain America because he realizes that was a mistake. I mean, there's so much more intricacies that could have been explored with that storyline, but you know, it is what it is. It's still a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie where a lot of shit happens and it's really entertaining to watch. That being said, it being number 8 on this list is kind of a disappointment, you know? It just is. But
so my number 7 is going to be it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Yes.
So again, I'm going to point out the fact that this was the first time that Marvel did something different from the formula. When Guardians of the I remember growing up reading Marvel comic books and Guardians of the Galaxy was never on my list as any kind of potential property that could be made into a film that would be like anybody would give a fuck about. And Guardians actually, what they did with that, James Gunn actually did with that. He was like, I'm going to take this fucking, goddamn Little Rascals in space and make it fucking hilarious. And that's what he did. It's Little Rascals in space. And they do a great job. And it broke the formula that Marvel had been doing over and over and over again. We have to have these origin stories, and this is that, and this is that, and this is this. They did something completely different. I mean, they did what Deadpool did, before there was a Deadpool. Guardians of the Galaxy had a great soundtrack. It had likable characters. They were very relatable. Chris Pratt was the most relatable. He said, "I'm trying to distract you, you turd nugget." You're like, "Oh, that's what I would say." I don't know. I mean, you're just like, "I'm trying to fucking do whatever I can." I really enjoy, dude, from the very beginning of that movie, and how they started it out. They started it out very much. It kind of started out like ET or something. He gets absorbed into space, and then it jumps, and now he's got a fucking Walkman on, and he's like dancing, and he's like on a different planet, and you're like, this is weird as fuck, but I'm here for. I love everything about it. It just felt good. Everything about the soundtrack, everything it just got you into that mode. It got
One
you
of the
in
greatest
that moment.
soundtracks of our time, man.
Dude, it really was. Yeah, and I I can't. Ronan, the guy that played Ronan,
Lee Pace,
such an underrated actor,
yeah.
dude. So I know that someone asked us earlier, what's an underrated Marvel character, but what's an underrated actor in the Marvel universe is Lee Pace. Lee Pace killed that. He did great, and actually Lee Pace was on my list to be a replacement for Doug Bradley for Pinhead.
Oh yeah,
because I feel like in this particular movie as Ronan, he did such a phenomenal job. He was very intimidating, but not overly intimidating for the camera. You know what I mean? Like he just had the essentials to be a great villain. And dude, I got to be honest with you. Guardians of the Galaxy paved the way for shit like maybe Guardians of the Galaxy did pave the way for Deadpool. Maybe it did. They were like, the studios watched it and they were like, yeah, that works. That works. People are into it.
It's a great fucking movie, dude. Great. It's a great fucking movie.
I don't know. Did Guardians come out before Deadpool? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Guardians paved a way for a lot of different takes on superheroes. It doesn't always have to be a particular formula.
I think that James Gunn definitely pushed what Marvel could be with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think you had to with the product nobody knew about. He did it
fully with like Suicide Squad, the second Suicide Squad, and then he did fully with Peacemaker.
Yeah. My number 7 is going to upset some people probably because it's not high as people maybe think it'd be, but it's going to be Avengers Infinity War.
I feel number 7. I feel the anger.
I'll just be brief. Look, it's a great fucking movie. It's sweeping. It's an epic. It's like a Lord of the Rings fucking Marvel movie. It's just crazy shit. Like Return of the King version of Lord of the Rings where everything's just wild. There's fights happening everywhere. Big goddamn deal. Huge to do. The reason why it gets nerfed so badly is because Endgame is so fucking good. And this feels like even as great as it is, and it's a fucking probably a 10. You know what I mean? It's probably that fucking good. Probably 9.5, 9.5 or 10. It ends, and nothing that happened at the end of this movie turns out mattering because he snaps his fucking fingers and they lie to our fucking faces and everybody goes, "Ooh, I'm crusty dirt," and then like in the next fucking movie, it's like, "Oh, we're back."
You sound like Brain from Pinky and the Brain.
It's great. No, I agree. It's a great movie, but they ruined the ending of it by killing Spider-Man, by killing Black Panther, who had their own movies coming out.
Yeah, you already knew.
When they have movies slated, you nerf the ending so bad. I feel like they could have made that, like some people should have died for real there and not come back. They should have made that feel like its own movie, and it would have been way higher on this list. Still a fucking great goddamn movie, though. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%. I feel like what set that movie back was the fact that they gave away the fact that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you
didn't even have us.
It didn't matter. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it was cool as fuck up to that point, and you're like, "Oh, you guys just like shit the bed there," because that character matters. That character matters. We got internet, AOL 10.0. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I know what's up.
Yeah. So my number 6 is going to be Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I feel like listen, Captain America: The First Avenger was pretty much dog shit, and then they came out with the Winter Soldier, and dude, I'll be honest, when we went to theater and watched this, and I feel like I was watching The Bourne Identity. Like it had the same type of feel, but there were superheroes involved in it. And I feel like it was this espionage, this action, James Bondish type of film. And again, it was a break from what Marvel was doing at the time. I felt like they did an incredible job showcasing the abilities of Captain America, but also the fact that Captain America can be stealthy and he can be, different. He can't, he doesn't always have to be like, the standard of the superhero or whatever. He can be this down and dirty type of dude and, get the information at all costs. And I'll dig into your butthole to get it. I don't care. Are you Shield or are you Hydra? I'll dig into both butts and I'll find out who's telling the truth, and I'll smell them both. I'll smell both your butts and I'll find out who's smelling the right. I feel like Winter Soldier is, and it was cool. I mean, it was cool to see, they introduced Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier, and they did a really good job of doing that. I loved the action sequences, the drama, the political intrigue, the consequences of actions. Robert Redford being in it. I think that they handled it really well. And there's a reason why that was directed by the Russo brothers, and they were ultimately tapped for fucking, Endgame and Infinity War. So
yeah, because it was fucking badass.
It was amazing. Yeah. So it's number 6 for me.
My number 6, my friend, is going to be. Oh, damn, I'm going to keep pissing people off. Spider-Man, No Way Home, Jose. No Way Home.
Take your ass back to home.
No way, Jose. No way, Jose. Hey, number 6 in the Marvel.
It's still good. No, it's still the top 10.
Fucking super high. Okay, I thought the movie was great. I thought it was fucking awesome. I thought it leaned a lot. I guess if you're asking yourself, hey, this is my top 3, what the fuck's wrong with you, Mike?
Yeah.
My response would be, I thought they leaned a lot on the Sam Raimi movies, on nostalgia, on other movies coming in and being big deals.
Yeah.
As a movie itself, it was still great. It was still a great Spider-Man film.
I just watched it last night, bitch.
had a lot of amazing moments in it. And obviously, really, but the most amazing moments came from plucking from other movies, though. You know what I mean? Plucking from other movies. And it's still great. It's still great as what it is. But it's just it's fucking awesome movie. I really enjoyed it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I get you.
Just it's not my top 5, but it could
it's
be.
All right. It's all right. It don't have to be. It don't have to be.
Yeah.
We exist in a world that you can make your own list.
They did a great job. Fucking awesome movie, man.
So my number 5 is going to be Avengers. Joss Whedon's Avengers, the first one. I'll never, I'll never forget it. Like, dude, Mike and I went to the theater and watched it. And it was a culmination of all these films before: Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America. And then, they had done such a fantastic job of establishing these characters and building them up. And then you get to see them on screen together. And that music, dude, it was like, I think that Mike and I, we did when they were all, there's a scene in the movie Avengers when the camera kind of pans around them. You hear that inspirational, like that, the Avengers song, and the camera's panning around them, and it's Hulk and it's Thor and it's Captain America and Black Widow. I don't care. And then it's Captain, whatever, all that stuff. It's cool. But you see all that. Mike and I jumped up and high five like we were Bill and Ted, like getting ready to go back in time and save the
crazy
princesses.
Moments.
And it was so fucking cool, man. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had in the movie theater in my life, because everybody in that movie theater was the same way. They're like, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen on the big screen. Because it was, at that point, you'd never seen that. You'd never seen a culmination of all the hard work and all these stories being built over the course of the time that Marvel had been out. It was really cool to see. And I'm still blown away by it. I think that Avengers is an amazing movie, dude. Like Avengers, and I know that Joss Whedon's an asshole. Of course he is, and he's a piece of shit.
An asshole.
Yeah, he is, and that's fine. But you can still appreciate the work and the art that he was able to put together, and that was a hard task, man. That was a hard task for anybody to fucking do, and he did it, man. He did it, and it was cool as fuck to see it on the big screen. It was cool as fuck. That was like a childhood dream come true.
It really was. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. It was.
Yeah.
It's true. That shit happened, yes. My number 5 is going to be Captain America Winter Soldier. You talked about
this. I almost put it in my top 5 too.
Winter. Captain Soldier Winter. Captain Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter. Soldier. It's gonna be my number 5. Look, to me, I love this movie so much because it didn't. Did they use other stuff? Yes, but not that much. It was bad fucking ass on its own. It was like, hey, I know we're in the Marvel world and we're going to have Nick Fury and we're going to have touches of other stuff because we got to connect everything. But Winter Soldier was a fucking badass action movie. You could have called him Captain Schmurka and the Winter Wiener and like
Costco?
like it could have been called anything. And this movie would have stood alone without all the superhero stuff because it was just a badass on the ground fucking war/action movie. Like you said, with the political intrigue and all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
real. It was just a good ass movie, whether you like superheroes or not, and had great fight scenes. I love the shit out of it. Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah,
number 5. A lot of action movies. I'll do.
My number 4 is the daddy. Okay, it's the daddy. You all call him daddy. You call him daddy because he started it all. Iron Man 1. Iron Man. The first Iron Man.
Oh, sorry. I got lost. Iron Man,
or in my case, DUI man. If he goes out for more beer tonight, but no, Iron Man. Iron Man the one dude. 2008. It set the tone. It set everything for the MCU and what it ultimately evolved to. Man, I remember this was like 4 years before we even started the channel. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and you know the banging on the cave wall, and then the boom, and then the doom, 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 doom. That shit. And I'm like, because I was like thinking to myself, like, why fuck you all starting with Iron Man? Like, there's a lot of other cooler MCU characters that really kick off the. But you know, the thing is we didn't know. I didn't know what they were gonna do. I was like, you know, they're just picking a character to go from. You know, I didn't know they were gonna build this whole interconnecting universe really. So I was like, yeah, Iron Man's cool. I knew who Iron Man was. I had comic books of Iron Man, but I was just like, Iron Man's kind of like, you know, a middle character, and they did such a great job with him. And they, you know, Robert Downey Jr., man, like, wow, what can you say? Like he broke the mold, dude. Like he's the like, and when I say granddaddy, he's the granddaddy of what you got on comic book movies today. As far as like, he started what you have in you recognize the comic book movies today. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but that's what he did. And I got to be honest with you, when Jon Favreau directed that fucking movie, and it was before Disney, and it was before all that entanglement, Jada Pinkett Smith, suck my dick, but it was all before that bullshit. They were on. I felt like they were on a more golden path. I got to be honest with you. When MCU started, when it was an MCU studio movie, and it was not fucking Disney involved, they had everything going for them in Iron Man, without needing Disney's backing. Of course, you need the money. I mean, the money is not, you're not going to turn it down.
I like
Twitter says hello, 44 billion.
The words you just said.
You just be like, no, I mean, but I feel like they've been fine. But you've been the masters of your own fucking destiny. You don't need Disney's money. I feel like they started something really cool with Iron Man, and you could have continued on that and done different things and whatever without Disney.
Man, I love it.
But you know what I mean, though. If you look at Iron Man, if you look at Iron Man 1, right, with the progenitor, the one that started it all, and there's no Disney, right? There's no contractual agreement to be like
puts my dick in
Winnie the Pooh bullshit things, right?
Yeah,
and you're just like, you can do whatever you want because you own it.
Yeah,
and Kevin Feige was back there. And he was thinking to himself, like, oh, I'm going to start with Iron Man, but you know what? Maybe I want to do a rated R Ghost Rider. Maybe I want to do a rated R this or do some crazy shit here. But it all connect. But I'll do my own thing.
I'm gonna put my dick in.
Yeah, it's gonna be wet when I put it in because I already cummed on it. But yeah, so I think Iron Man. I think Iron Man 1. Man, what can you say? It's such a fucking. It's at this point. It's Mecca.
Both of our number 4s as well, my friend. Iron Man's my number 4 as well. You said it beautifully when you said that it was going to be. It could have been. You didn't need Marvel. I mean, you don't need them. Didn't need it. Didn't need all that shit. We did something fucking new.
Imagine a world that they don't have. They didn't acquire them. Imagine what do we have? I mean, we would have so many spinoffs. Yeah. Oh my god.
I would have liked it a lot. Iron Man's going to be my number 4 as well. Started the whole thing. You got Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I feel like these three are the perfect embodiments of their character, not just in superhero films, but in all IP that was other IP before it became a movie. You know what I mean? They rendered these characters. They became these characters in a way we've almost never seen the likes of so many things before it. And it's fucking amazing, dude. So Iron Man was the start of it all. It's still a great fucking movie. The only thing that I didn't have great about it was that Obadiah Stane wasn't the best opening bad guy, but there was a lot to deal with there. They were introducing us to a whole fucking what's known as the Marvel Universe today, so there was a lot to deal with there. So yeah, Iron Man 4 fucking ruled.
Wait, you ever ask yourself that though? Like, have you ever wondered like if Marvel had just been more confident in what they were going to be able to do without being acquired by Disney? If they were like, you know what, we can do it on our own. We don't need Disney's money, because they were gonna. They could
yet.
Like right now, Marvel could be. They could be competing with Disney as far as like their value. Like Marvel could be worth like fucking $50 billion right now.
But they melted and they made little blood babies.
Yeah. Well, like Disney's not doing so well, but you know, I'm just saying, like Marvel is one of those it's weird. It didn't take until I got to be in my 30s that I started subscribing to DC more for the adult content. But Marvel is still. I feel like Iron Man, starting off with Iron Man, and the way that they did that movie, I feel like I don't know, man. Like if Disney had never touched that, and Marvel had just kept going by themselves, dude, I think we would have such a different conversation in regards to MCU.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right, man. I wish they would have. I really wish they fucking would have, but. Anyways,
so my number
top 3, baby.
Okay, so we're getting into it now. So my number 3 is going to be Avengers Infinity War. And you know, I know that Mike is going to be hated for his pick on the list on Infinity War, but the reason why I picked
I'll be the bad guy.
I picked Infinity War is because I feel like Infinity War, other than the stupid shit that they did, where like, you know, when they killed off certain good guys in this movie, that they weren't really dead. I feel like that ruined it. I feel like that was stupid. But overall, James Brolin as Thanos, amazing. So good. He turned down Batman to do this. 100%. He turned down, he was going to be in BVS. And he was like, no, I'm going to do Thanos. He did great. He did fucking awesome. James Brolin.
Well, I think actually he lost that role to Ben Affleck.
No, he turned it down.
I read that he lost it, but either way.
Well, Ben Affleck wrote that. But Ben Affleck said he turned it down. But no, you know, I don't know. Maybe he did. But at the end of the day, James Brolin killed it. He was awesome. He definitely presented Thanos in a very calculating way. And again, they had done a great job of building up Thanos as being the ultimate baddie in the universe. And I think they did a great job of doing that. And the fact that he was acquiring all the Infinity Stones, and that was his goal. They did a great job. You get Loki dying at the very beginning of the movie, which was fucking shocking to a lot of people. I knew they were going to get rid of that goddamn Tom Hiddleston because he
that
might
Hawk
be
scene was dope though.
It was great. No, it
was sick.
It was really good. It was very sad. And then toward the, you know, he's like, if you throw one more moon at me, I'm gonna lose it. It was so good. It was so good. The fight sequence between Thanos and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and you know, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Best part of the movie. Best part of the movie when they're on the planet Titan fighting. Better than the Wakanda fight. The Wakanda fight is cool, but they're fighting the main baddie on that fucking moon. It was so cool. Everything and again, I'd grown up reading Marvel, and the Infinity Gauntlet is a 6-issue thing on Marvel. I love that comic series. I always loved it, and I think they did a good job with it. And I think it got brought to life on the big screen. Thor getting the axe thing, and dude, so good. The problem, I think that the reason why this is just fucking, it doesn't land higher than it is. I mean, again, it's a number 3 for me, is the fact that you don't kill off characters that you've, like Mike said, you don't kill off characters you've announced movies for. It was a terrible flub in the media. You don't do that shit. I mean, you don't kill. technically in the Marvel comic books in Infinity Gauntlet, he kills off Captain America. He kills off a shit ton of fucking superheroes. You just don't. But this was like, you already announced your fucking movies. You're kind of dumb. You're dumb for doing that. But other than that, like, dude, I liked it. You know what I liked about, and I get it. I'm not a sadist. I'm not like all, but it was
He's
cool
a
to see.
sadist.
It was cool to see a bad guy win. Like what the world's like if the bad guy wins, because you never really get to explore that option, do you? Like, if you watch any superhero movie, what if the bad guy wins? What happens to the world? You don't really. I mean, I just thought that was cool.
It's a pig that don't fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. That is a good point, dude. That the fact that the bad guy wins and that does make that movie a little bit better. You know what I mean? That you don't get, especially not in Marvel, Disney World.
Never.
Oh my God, you don't get that. You really don't get that. My number 3 is going to continue to piss people off.
What?
A little bit. I said my number 3 is going to continue to piss people off a little bit. It's going to be.
That's all right. I like that. That's bold. That's bold, Cotton.
Hey man, you know what? This movie shocked the shit out of me when they announced, "Hey, we're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy." It's like, bitch, what? The fuck? We got Iron Man. We got Captain America. You're doing a fucking Guardians of the who? Who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? But the movie comes out, and I loved it so fucking much.
Like a drunken British dad.
Who the fuck? It's like fucking McGregor about to hit another old man. But I went to see it with my kids from that opening act when that doom, and he comes out and he's fucking singing and shit. And it's like, man, this is exactly what Marvel needed. Like, Marvel's doing great. They're kicking fucking ass. They're doing awesome shit. Huge world building. Out of fucking nowhere comes this fun fucking dance soundtrack fucking movie. Peter Quill, Chris Pratt, all that shit. And it's just like, I went to see it in the theaters like 4 times. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about a movie that, like, I love these movies. I love these Marvel movies, Infinity War, all that shit. But a movie like this, that when it comes out, it's so different. And it's so original and different, and it's in that world. It's like, you tell me it's also in the world with the Avengers and all this shit like that. This could come out and had nothing to do with Marvel, and it would have been a fucking great goddamn movie. And then you tie in that other shit to it, and it's just, man, it's like it's a movie I fucking love. It's a movie I have great memories of taking my daughter, who was like 6 or 7 at the time, to see over and over and again. And just the soundtrack, that movie was one of the most shockingly good movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I just fucking love it. I adore it. It's amazing.
No, I agree. I mean,
it didn't need to, like, does it tie into other shit? Yeah, sure. But it stands alone. Like, I appreciate it a little bit more because it doesn't need to be a fucking, we're going to bring out this superhero, and all this shit like that. It stands alone on its own with these non-title characters, and still manages to make a great fucking movie out of it. And I think that makes it, just to me, a little bit more special. Like that I said, something like No Way Home, where they're like, yeah, we're going to bring 7 iterations of these huge hitter characters back. They did it with nothing. Nobody knew who the fuck Rocket Raccoon or any of these people were when that movie came out, and they still made it special. So yeah, I love it.
It was one of those few movies that were able to bring a comedy edge to Marvel or MCU that had not ever been seen before. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Fruit Loops said it was very engaging. Kids love it. And they did. Fruit Loops.
Sounds like,
but so did adults.
All right. So my number 2 is going to be, Mike talked about this a little bit. My number 2 is going to be Spider-Man No Way Home.
I knew it. I started typing it before you said it. I'm clairvoyant.
Yeah. So the reason I just watched this movie last night, and dude, I appreciate the fuck out of what it did. I feel like it forced the character of Tom Holland's Peter Parker to grow up toward the end of the movie, and that's why I cried. I cried a little bit when I watched this movie. Several times. I mean, I think that not several, well, a couple of times. I feel like when, yes, of course, they definitely relied on Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming in and adding that little flavor to the overall story, and they were relying on characters that had been established in the other Spider-Man films. But I think they did that because they were trying to wrap up, or at least connect those movies in some way to where. Because if you look at Amazing Spider-Man, it didn't get a third one, right? And Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire was fucking terrible with goddamn Topher fucking 70 show Grace being Venom. What the fuck did you smoke today when you cast him? But I feel like they did their best to kind of give the nostalgia to the fans that were going to still see Spider-Man, and to see Tobey Maguire in that suit again, and Andrew Garfield, and especially Andrew Garfield, because I think that Andrew Garfield really killed it. I think Andrew Garfield, there's one scene when he rescues MJ from, you know, the Empire State Building, and he's kind of crying. I'm like, dude, that's fucking great, because it ties back exactly to Gwen Stacy, where he couldn't save her. And then the interactions between the three Spider-Man, so good. And Aunt May dying, and then she says, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. And the other two Spider-Man comforting Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I think they, you know, what they did was they took the best parts from the animated Spider-Man. What was it called? Shattered Dimension. What was that movie?
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. They took the best parts of Into the Spider-Verse and they interwove it into this movie, and made it an. I feel like they made it an unofficial send-off from the other Spider-Man to this particular Spider-Man, like Tom Holland, especially at the end when I feel like he's very grown up. And after he tells Doctor Strange, and it was like, dude, I mean, it's so underspoken when Doctor Strange is like, everyone's gonna forget you. I mean, that's fucked up. But you think about that, it's like you never existed. It's not like they're gonna forget that you're Spider-Man. It's like you never existed in your life. So everybody in your life will never know you existed. He just lost his aunt. He lost the only person that cared about him, and now no one will know who you were. You can't even rely on your friends anymore to deal with that trauma. You're fucked. And he's like, I'll do it. That's a very heroic thing. And I feel like it fits into the more adult version of Peter Parker. And when you know, at the very end of the movie, when he could tell everybody, or he could tell MJ and Ned who he is, he chooses not to because they have good lives. And I felt like that was very Spider-Man. I felt like the end of that movie, it was like, that's Spider-Man, man. Like that's Tobey Maguire, that's Andrew Garfield, that's the kind of Spider-Man that I want to see on screen. And I feel like they brought it all home. I feel like Spider-Man No Way Home not only delivered like amazing special effects, but it delivered the oomph that they promised in the press. Because I remember everybody was talking about it, right? Is Andrew Garfield going to be in it? Is Tobey Maguire going to be in it? Are they both going to be in it? I didn't know. It was kind of annoying. But the fact is, they didn't only just deliver that, but they delivered it in a very effective, emotional way. And they paid homage to the shit that went before, and they paid homage to the things that go after. I just felt like it was almost nearly a perfect movie.
It was quite good. Quite good, my friend. Yeah. And I feel like I know for sure that we're actually going to have the same number.
Yeah, we'll have the same number one, I'm sure.
Because my number 2 is actually going to be Avengers. Now, hear me out. The original Avengers. This is a me pick. This is for me. I fight for me.
Yeah.
For me. Russia.
For Russia. You fight for Russia.
I do this whole section in Russian. Okay, here we go. Look, I know it's not as good. Like if you go back and you watch Avengers, like there's a bunch of holes and shit, and I get that. Like it's got, you know, Josh Whedon's a huge piece of shit human being. Like,
yeah, he really is. Yeah,
fuck you, Josh Whedon. This is not for you. This is for me. But like, this movie just holds such a special place in my heart. This is a me pick. It's for me, not the list. I know that that's not right. Yeah, I know it's not the second best movie in the MCU. Like,
you do what you want to do, child.
I am very clear on this part. But what I do want to say to my mother, to my grandpappy, is this movie just holds a special place to me because it was I'll say it was just to be safe, it was my Star Wars. Like, you hear about all these people who saw Star Wars in the theater, like that moment, like being there that time was amazing. For us, we lived through, you know, 89 Batman was amazing. You know, we saw those movies in the theater, the 89 Batmans, when there was no MCU, there was no shared universe, there was none of this shit. You get a superhero movie made and it's not dog shit. You're fucking lucky. X-Men, X2, that shit was great. But the Avengers came out, and seeing that in the theater and having lived the life that you led up to that point, it was a Star Wars moment for us. Seeing like, oh my God, we just saw Thor and Captain America and Iron Man and all these people on screen together. that was
And they bounced
it.
off the comic book page. Yeah.
Blew your fucking mind.
Mhm.
You know, blew you. So everything from the Alan Silvestri music that was in that, to the camera panning, the way they did those scenes. I watch it again and I see all the imperfections with it, sure. But that movie just holds such a special
Sitting
place
in
in
the
my
theater
heart.
watching all that shit.
Yeah, it's like a Godfather-ish feeling
Yeah.
as far as superhero movies go for me. So I love the fuck out of it. And to me, it's my
Yeah.
second favorite
No, I
MCU.
get it.
I get why
You know,
it's not, but
there
to me.
wasn't long ago when there weren't that many MCU movies that Avengers was our number one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, and it very well could be to me too. I love, and this it's weird to be such an old man that like I was what year did that come out? We were in our 20s
2000,
when
I think that was like 2012.
yeah, like we're in our
No,
20s
no, it might we saw I think we
around
started the
there.
channel around that time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Around that
yeah,
time.
it was one of the earliest reviews we did on the channel. But like that movie we saw in our 20s, it's over 10 years old now. It's weird to say that you're that old, that
Yeah.
like you saw something that long ago, that it's actually nostalgic. But Avengers is not is it's both nostalgic, but it's the kind of nostalgia you got to experience as an adult, which just adds to it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it adds such a layer. Like we got to go have a couple brewskis as adults and watch this event happen as
Yeah,
human beings in
it'd be
real
like
time.
watching Rocky for the first time or some
Right.
shit. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
The first time.
To not be a child and be
Yeah.
cognizant, I'm watching something huge happen right now and enjoy
Mhm.
it. There's nostalgia and there's greatness, and I just fucking love the movie, man. I just do. So it's my number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It is.
I think
Yeah.
that we're all, our taints are sweating
Mm,
right
mm,
now. It's just
mm,
sweating with what our
mm,
number one's going to
mm,
be. And I think that
mm.
we're both going to say it's our number one. It's going to be
In
Avengers Endgame. Okay, let's give it up, motherfuckers. Let's give it up. Avengers Endgame. It does what
Endgame.
Avengers did well, and it did what previous Marvel movies did well, having fun with the subject material, but then also having a darker tint to that subject material. It brings together all of the other Marvel heroes that we came to know and love through fucking 27 films, and they do such a spectacular job. The Russo brothers fucking killed it. And of course, you got to have the brothers because you can't do this movie on your own. If Joss Whedon had done this, he'd have smacked somebody, which he probably did on Buffy. But I will say it was an incredible movie, man. The part that stands out to me, and I'm sure it's for you too, and I teared up in the theater the first time I was watching. I think we watched this separately, actually. It was when when obviously Captain America says Avengers Assemble, and you hear that music from the first Avengers movie, and they all start running to take on Thanos. That whole scene, the way that it was shot, the way that it looked, it was like a comic book come off the page.
True.
Like it looked so fantastic. It looked so amazing, and that music was perfect. I get teary now when I watch it. I mean, honest to God, if I
cry every fucking time I watch it.
fast forward to that part, I still get teary. He's like, Falcon saying on your left. And then Captain America's got, and there were so many other cool moments, like the fact that Captain America summons Mjolnir, and then you see Thor saying, "I knew it," because it was a throwback to Age of Ultron when they were trying to all lift the hammer, and then Captain America kind of moved it, and because Captain America's a good guy, he didn't want to embarrass Thor. He didn't act like I can't lift it, and he knew he could lift it because he's noble and he's a hero. I felt like there were so many good things about this movie. It's hard to really condense it into, we're going on 3 hours and 1 minute here. It's really hard to condense it into a quick review.
And yet this movie's somehow longer.
I know. Yeah. Avengers Endgame is dude, it's the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle of any studio wanting to do a connected universe.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Because again, DC, I don't really want that, but if DC were gonna do a connected universe, that's how you do it. Endgame is how you do it. If you're gonna do the death of Superman in DC, this is how you do it. Death of Superman should have been the last thing, like 24 26 movies first, and then do the death of Superman.
Yeah, no, like honestly, like there's so many different angles you could take to all that shit. But you're right. Like when it comes to this movie, it was just it was insane. Like they actually took like a 26 movie or whatever the fuck, however many movies it was, arc, and somehow landed it. Like we're just
Yeah.
praying to the gods that Halloween Ends lands a 3-movie fucking arc. They took this entire thing and this gigantic scoping thing, and somehow in a world where Disney doesn't take any risks, and we're not going to be R-rated, we're not going to do anything crazy, they managed to pull off what is to me like just a fucking miracle is what this movie was. They landed it in a way that it had stakes for the first time in a while. It had huge stakes. It had epic battles. It had emotion leading up to. It had the anchorage. It was like the world's greatest TV show that actually managed to also have the world's greatest finale episode. Like even The Sopranos, when you watch that last episode, and like, oh fuck, I get why they did it, but fuck,
very ambiguous. Yeah,
it left you so goddamn satisfied. How the fuck did they take this thing that they built with the MCU, this unimaginable changing movies for forget about that little guy, but like this unimaginable thing that they built, and they somehow at the buzzer still fucking nailed it and brought it all home and made you feel satisfied walking away from it. That last, the on your left cap to the I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
Right.
I bawl my eyes out when Tony Hawk dies. But like, you know,
I think everyone will.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. That will be very
sad
sad about that.
in the front.
That'll be very awful when that happens. But dude, it's an unimaginable feat of filmmaking. We're actually, I'll be honest with you. Hey, Thor. Hey, buddy. Nice tail. We are absolutely, it's so good. We're lucky to be alive to have witnessed it. Like, you imagine, dude, being a kid and being like, man, fuck. Imagine if something like that happened. Endgame is the quintessential comic book movie to me. Like, it actually took this huge epic and landed it. Holy fuck. You can't say, it's one of those movies you just can't say enough about. We are so lucky to have lived in a time to experience the whole thing.
Dude, I agree. You know, it's actually weird. That's weird because like last night I was thinking to myself, because I was trying to think of like you know, these movies, and like trying to rank them in my head before I actually wrote them down on paper. And the first thing I thought was like, man, we all bitch about, like, you know, they don't live up the hype or the expectations. But if someone told me, like, you know, 20 years ago, I was reading Marvel comic books. I had a subscription. I went to the comic book store. I would like pour over like the comic books. If someone told me at that point in my life, when I was like 16 or 17 years old, 15 or 14 or whatever, that there was going to be all these movies that you could dissect, like, no fucking way. There's no way.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're all so lucky that we wake up in a world where there's all these different superhero movies that you can get to enjoy and really be a part of. But yeah, it really was astounding that the Russo brothers were able to bring this movie home, and they did it in such an effective way. And again, of course, I mean, let's talk about the death of Robert Downey. We all knew it was coming. We knew this was coming, Pete. We knew this was coming. It wasn't a shocker.
We will have sex in your car. It will happen again.
Yeah, it wasn't a shocker that he didn't bring lube. He was just gonna stick it in a raw dog.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest. I got teary-eyed. I got teary-eyed because
cried my eyes out.
I feel like you think back to the 2008 movie, the one that, you know, we were younger, and it started there and then it ends there, and it was a perfect circle. It was a perfect beginning, middle, end.
And then the little girl. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was so perfect. And when she's like, you can rest now.
Oh fuck, Jay.
Yeah, dude, I really I think that it was some of the best acting I've ever seen on film, and it has nothing to do, you know, with just because it was a superhero movie. I feel like it was some of the best acting I've ever seen, and I've never seen a movie in my life that had involved that many people worldwide. That movie involved so many people worldwide, and that includes Star Wars, and that includes Lord of the Rings. I feel like, gotta be honest here, Endgame is that movie that really grabbed the world by the balls and gave it the old dick twist. The old dick twist. Because listen,
imagine if
Star
they
Wars,
fucked
I
that
wasn't
up?
around, and I wasn't around for Lord of the Rings necessarily. So,
Dude, could you imagine, like, with all the movies we get, like, you could have a great movie come out, and then, like, people are gonna hate it, people are gonna love it. Could you
yeah.
imagine if they fucked Endgame up and how easy it would have been for them
Oh
to
yeah,
fuck it up?
yeah.
Could you
They
imagine
could
if
have
they
easily, yeah,
fucked up the quintessential moment of all these movies,
yeah,
and they somehow, in a world that we live in where nobody's pleased, nobody's ever fucking pleased, it's
yeah.
always a hot fucking take. I love the Batman. It's not Dark Knight, the Batman, whatever, anything. They actually fucking landed what was promised. Like, now, granted, us as comic book fans, hey, you should have given us something this epic for Doomsday. You should have given us something this epic for Onslaught, for even Apocalypse, you know, the X-Men. But, like, they did it. Like, if you could look at one example of perfection in movie making that pleased nearly every single human being, Endgame it's so good. It's hard to. I don't think it actually gets the credit it deserves because it's just so widely accepted as fucking rad. You know, we're so lucky to have witnessed it. That's all. You're muted, my friend. I cannot hear thee. You have mute button on. Look at your little screen. It has mute button.
You hear me?
There you are. I got you now.
So, I don't wanna feel like Captain America's story, because I know a lot of people were like Captain America's story ended on such a sour note, and he didn't go out like the hero that Captain America should have gone out. Because I mean, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, Captain America is going to go out in Endgame," like And to be honest, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that makes perfect sense for that character's arc. That Captain America goes out fighting Thanos and dies, and that's it. And the shield gets passed over. But I wasn't super pissed that he went back in time and got with Karen. I wasn't super pissed about that. And then he comes
Oh,
back
it's nice.
part, and then he's like, "Hey, I forgot to give you this shield." Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I feel like what the focus was, and I think the Rooster Brothers did it right. It was they focused on who started the franchise. Iron Man did. Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Started way back in 2008 when no one gave a popcorn fart about who the MCU was or these Marvel movies. And he made a big splash. The Iron Man movie did. And it all circled around to this moment. And that's why that fucking ending works. And I'm happy, dude. I think it's the best Marvel movie I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen in my life.
It's one of the best
Period.
movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So that's it.
There you go,
That's
man.
it.
Hey, let's grab some super chats before we get the fuck out of here. They call me Stamps. Says, not saying it needs to happen, but if it did happen, what do you think about Chris Hemsworth as He-Man?
I know that they're actually looking at a He-Man reboot. I think that Chris Pratt's too small.
Chris Hemsworth, he said.
Oh no, Hemsworth. Oh yeah. Hemsworth would be all right.
Is he perfect? Yeah. Is it too close to Thor? Probably. I think you would just see
there
Thor.
Was somebody
right?
else though. Like I know that some people mentioned The Rock. I feel like that's too on the nose.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I want to see He-Man. I want to see a He-Man remake, but I don't know.
I'd love to see a no name, a new guy. Bring dude out of a
Butch McCruff.
Yeah. Dave McRae. Aliens on VHS says, "Can I get Loomis to tell me his favorite film?" I love your name, by the way.
Yeah, my favorite film. That's not an asshole. Move on. I don't watch films. Don't waste the time. I read books. My favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird because I think of To Kill a Michael. Next.
Colt Kaler says, after No Way Home, do you think Garfield gets a sequel going against Tom Hardy's Venom, or Toby and Sam Raimi come back and make another movie?
I think Garfield's going to get a sequel. I don't think that Toby really wants to really come back. I think that Tom or Garfield, Andrew Garfield wants to come back and do some more with it. I don't think that I don't really think that necessarily Tobey Maguire wants to come back.
You know what I love about that whole scenario, though, is it gives Marvel the chance to do one-offs. I would love to see Toby or Andrew Garfield come back for one movie to face off Venom, and then you can go somewhere for that. Like, it doesn't have to tie into the whole overdoing arc. They could just do a single movie where you actually get to see a good Venom versus a good Spider-Man. I'd be down for that shit.
Well, Andrew Garfield, though, I feel like Andrew Garfield is really into that role. I feel like Andrew Garfield was like, and it really sucks that he got replaced, because I think Andrew Garfield, I swear to God, Andrew Garfield in the setting that Tom Holland got in the MCU would have done a better job.
I totally fucking agree, man. Like, he didn't have the good movies built around him.
But he would have had the experience, and everybody would have known him because he was the last Spider-Man, 2 Spider-Man films. He had the experience. Oh my God.
If they brought back Tobey Maguire for his own standalone movie again with Marvel's backing, it'd fucking kill the box office. It would. Aliens on VHS, thank you again. Sauce says, if you could both only greenlight one film to be made, would you pick Spidey 4 or Amazing Spider-Man 3? I go with Garfield after No Way Home for sure. That's a tough fucking question, dude.
Yeah, that's well, because well, here's the thing though, Aliens on VHS. If you're saying Spidey 4 with Sam Raimi and Toby, are you saying complete creative control because he was forced by the studio to put Venom in that? Like, if he had complete creative control on Spidey 4, it's a different question. But I think that Andrew Garfield really never got the proper send-off with a trilogy. So I would go with Garfield.
I'm gonna go either way. It's gonna be under Marvel's umbrella, so it's not gonna be anything crazy. Sam Raimi,
I think he was asking if only Sony controlled it.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, is that Garfield did Sony movies. But if it was in the Marvel universe, like, it would be better, but Sam Raimi wouldn't really be able to go crazy the way you'd want him to go crazy. So I'll go Garfield too. But if Sam Raimi could have his own movie where he did his own thing.
Is that your favorite one? Is that your favorite one?
What? Garfield? Yeah. Yeah. But no.
I love Tobey Maguire. No, I love
Maguire's my favorite. Maguire's my favorite, but
I feel like Tobey Maguire's the best Spider-Man. I feel like Andrew Garfield's the best Peter Parker. No, maybe it'd be reversed. I think that Toby is the better Peter.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield's a better Spider-Man.
I'd suck Toby's wiener.
I would suck them both off. It doesn't matter.
Like them both.
Yeah.
Inky the Alien, thank you. Says, I debated skipping the stream tonight since I'm not really an MCU fan, but I'm so glad I didn't. Tonight's been a blast. You guys are awesome.
All right.
You're so fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting up with our shenanigans. I really appreciate it. Foxhound, thank you as well. Says, spot on. What do you guys think about the rumor Tom Cruise is alternate Iron Man in Multiverse of Madness?
Awesome.
Yes.
I love that shit.
Put it out.
I think they should do it. I hope it happens. There's a lot of rumors going around with the Multiverse of Madness. We already know that Patrick Stewart's going to be Charles Xavier. We already know that. Like, there's too much evidence. The Logan, Hugh Jackman, not going to happen. But if Tom Cruise shows up as Iron Man, as a weird Iron Man, that motherfucker needs a break from Scientology. So I'm okay with that.
He's a great Iron Man. He would be a great Iron Man.
100%.
So I love it. Send it to the fucking stars and send us to the stars, because we are fucking done, guys.
We gotta get out of here.
Hey, we love you guys. Thank you so much
for having make our own in game.
Yeah, it's an in game for us, Peter.
Don't call me Peter.
Hey, we love your fucking faces. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see you guys super soon.
See you guys.
We really do love and appreciate your all's time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, Dark Continent. Good night.